Man, don't be surprised if Gimple is like getting axed off that show. And it's the biggest fuck you because it's like now he kills the ratings for AMC. And by the time AMC can do damage control, it'll be a little too late. It'll be like, oh, well, we're going to try to fix that. It'll be too late.
Oh yeah, we went live right in the middle of it. But yeah, hi
Oh, hey.
everyone.
Hey, everybody, what's up?
Welcome to the very special episode
And
of Dead
probably,
Air.
and probably the last.
Probably the last. It's called Fuck Gimple. So anyways, let's carry on. Go ahead, Liv.
Okay, so basically, you found out the bad news that Chandler was fired. Basically, he got that pink slip like everybody else. But it's so sad because he didn't deserve it. It's like the problem I have with his death. I couldn't even process it because I only saw him in 801 and you wanted me to feel bad in 808. Like, are you really, you wanted me to feel bad? I hadn't seen you in like almost 2 months. Like, I'm not even trying to be mean. I couldn't even process your death because it was like, I forgot you were a character almost, like Tyra. I swear I fought tooth and nail and told somebody she died. It was like, nah, she's still alive. I was like, no, she died. It was like, she's still alive.
I
And I was
think
like,
that was me.
oh, that was probably you. I was like, she's dead because I don't remember seeing her.
She's alive.
I was like, I saw her die. He was like,
I know you don't like her, but she's alive objectively.
poor Carl. Tyra outlived him. That's terrible. Tyra outlived him. Oh, that's fucked up. Who is it that has outlived Carl? And we're just like, how?
I don't know. Every damn body. Why is anyone outliving Carl?
Tobin. Heath is technically still alive.
If he's maybe alive, possibly wherever he is.
Is Tobin?
Is Scott alive, or did he die?
He's alive. Is Tobin dead?
No, he's supposed to be carrying Judy, I think. Right?
Yeah, he's the babysitter. But you know, when you're the babysitter, you normally die, so he's dead next.
Well, yeah, but he's still gonna outlive Carl, even if he dies next episode.
That's true. He still outlived Carl. That is so true.
Milk pants.
Let's see who
the
else.
The worst is that Negan is outliving Carl, not just outliving Carl by a little bit, by a lot of it,
and outliving him only because of
he died. That's the reason Gimple killed Carl, guys, because he needed to make Rick sparing Negan make sense, and Carl dying makes
I wouldn't be surprised,
sense, right?
If AMC gave them the world to kill Carl because they had to pinch pennies. They was like, well, we see here that like we're losing some money, so kill one of those characters off, not the black girl because well we can't afford that, but go ahead and kill that little kid right there. JDM is expensive. You gotta understand, JDM is like the household name on that show. That dude's expensive to keep on there. I promise.
How much money are they even making in merchandise sales for him?
Gotta be a lot. You can't kill
all those fucking bats are everywhere.
I bet he's rivaling Daryl now. As far as merch is concerned,
Michonne denied because she making Marvel, so she's getting them like some good views. You couldn't kill Rick because well it's Rick. Couldn't kill Norman Reedus because it's Norman Reedus. Only other people you could kill was probably like Carl, Carol, and that's pretty much it. Because I mean, you could kill a rando, but it's not like that really brought anybody. To be honest,
I mean they kill randos all the time.
Yeah, so it's not like
oh man. They killed the one guy with the name.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so shocking.
Killed Finney's grandma.
They did. That's right. I missed the first 20 minutes of the episode, and then when we were rewatching afterwards, I read Chandler's interview, so I no longer cared. But how did Enid kill the grandma?
Like I don't know, she just got scared and like just shot. I think Aaron was like the grandma was on Aaron, and then she shot without like really looking, and she killed him.
If it makes you feel better, I haven't watched since season 1. I haven't watched in like 2 months, and I I have not watched The Walking Dead in 2 months, so however long the show been on.
Oh, I thought you said you haven't been watching since season 1.
She just got real good spoilers.
She's like reading her summaries really well.
Yeah, you're silly.
She said she's been an extra since this season, but actually Liv's been part of the show since the first season.
Actually, no, not even. Is that even say that? They'd be like, "Oh, that's the bitch that was gonna tell." Like, nah, I've never been on that show. I don't even know where it's like located. I've never been on that show. That's fine. Actually, to be honest, I never seen season 1 or season 2. I only started at 3 because it just looked better.
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying that.
What if Liv is Chandler Riggs?
Yeah,
that would be quite the twist.
You'd be like, "Yeah, I asked off. That was actually a black woman."
He's very talented.
Like I'm so talented as an actor. I can change race and gender.
Oh my gosh.
I'm watching the show with, damn, what's the one Silas like? What's his name? JB there.
The Punisher?
Punisher.
Yeah. And it's just like I'm watching this show and it's like the white Luke Cage. Like it's exactly the white Luke Cage. Like, all they did was just change the actors. I'm pretty sure they used the same script, changed the names, and that's what it was.
Really?
Yes, like they have the same plot premise and everything.
I might watch it.
Like
I still haven't finished Luke Cage.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Kat, how angry are you?
Currently in this moment, I've laughed enough, so I am currently at like a 3. But let's say when I was raging in the chat, I was like at a 10, and I was dialing back so that I wouldn't throw another phone because I learned in my life that's a bad idea. And then when I read Chandler's interview, I was at like a 12.
Doc was like, "The show's over." I was like, "Yo, I paid $10 for my glow light, so you gonna have to figure something out. You better like Stranger Things or something. We gonna work something out."
Yeah, just convert it into something else.
We call it "Tell It to the Stranger Things." I don't know.
I was thinking we'll just make it like an Andy and Denai fan site or something. I don't know.
Just make it something. She just
cute animals.
Make
it a Star Trek site. We'll all just watch Star Trek and support Sonequa, and that's what we'll do.
Yeah, but that's probably gonna get canceled. So let's not even. I mean, I'd love to try, but I feel like that's on the verge of getting canceled because I have to pay for it. He'd be like, anything I have to pay for is getting canceled.
No, they're doing really well. That show's actually gotten them more subscriptions for that. Yeah. Good. They're a lot of people are getting the premium whatever it's called just for that show. So they're doing pretty well.
It's so odd. It's so backwards. I mean, I'm glad that it's doing well, but it just doesn't seem like a good idea
to put it on make you pay for it. I don't know. People are buying HBO just for Game of Thrones and stuff.
Yeah,
so, I mean, whatever.
But another thing with Gimple, I don't know if y'all remember a while back, but I think the dude from GOT called out The Walking Dead, basically saying that show could never live up to their hype because they just couldn't do like certain things like they did. And ever since that happened, Gimple went on a wildfire with killing people. I've kind of noticed that, and I think it was more directed to Kirkman more than Gimple, but it was like Gimple took that personal and was like, "Oh, you don't think I could kill people?" But yeah, Gimple, you're kind of pointlessly killing people. It's like this has nothing to do with the story anymore. It's like, okay, you just killed Carl, and why again? There's gonna be no real character development. Michonne and Rick are not gonna grow or go anywhere with this. It's just like he died. The end. It was kind of like when Lori died, you could see the difference with Rick, but I feel like Carl's death is just gonna be like they plateaued Rick so much. It's like, where can he go from this? There's nothing he can do.
It's just be another cycle, and I mean they're gonna use Carl's death to development. It's just not gonna make any damn sense because the development for Rick from Carl's death is that he spares Negan, and I was like, why?
In real life, never spare nobody like that. I kill a dude. I'd be like, you killed my child. Oh, okay. Well, I get to kill you now.
Well, Negan didn't kill Carl. Carl was gonna die anyways.
Oh yeah, that was true. How did he get bit? Can somebody explain that?
He didn't get bit in this episode. He got bit in episode 6. He was helping Sadiq take care of some walkers. It was just like a regular routine thing, and he just got bit. Like it was.
Wow.
It
so
was
he
dumb.
basically got Andrea from the comics, but I had
Yeah.
I called that back. I was like, I feel like Andrea's death would have something to do with Carl's death, and I was right. I don't know. It's just people are predictable.
They're gonna start listening to you. And you start spitting facts in the bunker.
I'm gonna be like
writing it down.
Go to Liv's magic crystal ball. Find out what's gonna happen on The Walking Dead.
I'm just mad that there's like no real character development with anybody. It's just like you're gonna go rampage, the end. And it's like, what do you benefit from out of this?
It's just like they'll change on a dime for no reason, just whatever needs to happen in the plot. So I
don't know. I feel like this show plateaued at season 5, and that was the end of it. It was like after season 5 with the Terminus people, it was just like, well, we're just gonna start writing garb.
Yeah, Grady was just a waste, and then the Alexandria arc was not as good as it could have been. It was awful. It could have been great. It wasn't that great in the comics either. I'm always disappointed. I have such high hopes for that kind of.
It's because it moved really fast. It moved really fast in the comics. It was like, we're here, they died, now it's over, the end.
Yeah.
Like, you got Jesse's death in the comic, then you had everybody else's death in the Alexandria thing, and then you was like, okay, time to meet Negan. I'm like, damn. We didn't even have time to like settle.
There was like slightly more time between Alexandria and then Negan in the comics. In the show, they really rushed it. It was just like bam, 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 bam. Okay, and you don't even have time to like, chill at Hilltop before all of a sudden Saviors. Oh, Negan's here. Oh my god, can't wait for Negan to be fucking here. and they dragged out No Way Out, and then they completely skipped an entire volume from the comics. Like there was this entire thing of just the fallout after No Way Out in the comics, and they just like time skip past it and like, okay, let's be at 6:10. Okay, we're showing this together. Okay, next thing.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like because cable have a bigger budget and they can tell a story better. Like, you know how like only got like 10 episodes, but you can get so much out of it. And then The Walking Dead has 16, and you just look around like, what did I learn today?
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Game of Thrones, they have a huge budget because I mean, it's HBO. They're like premium. They have just an out of insane budget. Like about what Game of Thrones can do with their money is just leagues above what The Walking Dead can do with their tiny little budget. So,
but see, the problem is with The Walking Dead budget, you're not doing much. You're outside, so there's half the budget. Like it's free to go outside. You see what I'm saying? You don't pay for that. You don't pay for the air you breathe. So it's like, I feel like you got the $2-3 million budget. That's not bad for a TV show. Make it work. I think
they gotta pay those salaries now.
Yeah, but I think we kind of like let that $3 million budget, and we be like, oh, okay, that's good for mediocre writing. No, let's not.
No, that's not for the writing, just for the other shit they can do. Like Game of Thrones, they can just afford nicer crap and bigger special effects, all those costumes, multiple locations, a whole bunch of shit.
Like, it's a boring show to me too, but I feel like the writing is a hell of a. Like, I was watching the show before it got canceled on WGN called The Outsiders. I can tell they had a smaller budget in The Walking Dead, and they had a better storyline. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, it was clear. It worked. It was like they didn't even have. I don't even think they had as many episodes too, but it was just like. It was just good writing. It was like, oh, okay, like I can watch this.
How many bottle episodes did they have?
0, because it's not a comic.
Not a Gimple thing.
It's not Gimple. They even kill off the main character. At least one of them.
Yeah, I don't know about those bottle episodes. I don't know if AMC is just uniquely cheap and they like with all of the whatever the fuck their budget is really can't afford to have the cast on all the time and bottle episodes is just what they're forced to do, or if Gimple is just so in the bottle episodes.
I think he's. I think I noticed something about Gimple. The reason why he tends to like Daryl and character so much is because he can mold them to any character. That's why he likes Jadis and JDM. I mean, Negan. It's because you can mold them to what you want to be. It's kind of like Rick is already there, Michonne's already there. You cat Carl, but he's not there anymore. And it's like Daryl and Carol could be kind of like, I guess, wild cards. So he tends to use them a lot. That's why he probably does like bottle episodes more, because it doesn't have to stick to a story. Not a real one, at least.
It's also kind of his specialty. Like I think some of the best episodes that he wrote before he was showrunner, a lot of them were bottle episodes. So I think that's just like what he's good at, and that's what he's comfortable with.
Creativity.
He just with an overarching plot, just bottling things, literally bottlenecking them, stalls up the story sometimes. Like not everything needs to have a bottle episode in that particular moment. Like I love Morgan's bottle from season 6, but I've said many times it was just poorly timed. There is no reason it should have been in, first of all, the first half of season 6, and then definitely no reason why it should have been after Dumpstergate. Like no one cares about Morgan. We're worrying about Glenn right now, and there's no reason for Morgan's like backstory to be shoved in right in that moment. Like it would have been it would have been way better at the like later half of season 6.
Probably because they didn't know if they were going to keep Glenn alive or not. So that's probably why they shoved that episode in there. Because the good thing about a bottle episode is you can put it in any. You don't necessarily, like, if you shot it saying it was 6-8, but you want to play it 6-5, you can do that. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to fit in any type of order. So it was probably back when Glenn was like, we're deciding if we want to kill you this week or next year. It was next year.
Yeah, I guess, but it's still like it did not work for the story at all. And even the episode after Morgan's bottle episode still didn't have Glenn alive. That was when Maggie thought Glenn was dead.
Speaking of Morgan, how they gonna fit him into Fear? Like, I just want to hear this concept so I can laugh.
I actually read an article that suggested that, I mean, they don't have any basis for this, but they thought, well, maybe Morgan will actually, it won't be a flashback. It'll be that Fear does a time jump and catches up to where The Walking Dead is, and Morgan will leave after season 8 because he, for whatever, like, because he can't be clear around people or something. I don't know. He'll just, like, go off and be a lone wanderer again, and then end up finding the Fear guys and have whatever his arc is going to be on Fear, and then maybe he'll tell them about the communities up there, and then Fear and The Walking Dead will have a bigger crossover at some point.
And then The Walking Dead gets canceled because Gimple, and then Gimple stays up Fear.
Yeah.
You got The Walking Dead canceled.
Yeah, and then Fear like goes up there, and then they find all the communities that Morgan talked about are dead. They're just wiped off the map.
They stopped
well, sorry.
At the comic with at the comic, like in the part where because Alexander eventually goes down because he get overran by walkers, and that's where it ends for The Walking Dead. It'd be like, well, this is where we got to. Oh my god.
Well, Alexandria hasn't been overrun by walkers and ended in the comics, though.
Yeah.
They fixed that again.
Oh, they did. Fuck,
yeah.
I keep stopping like every time. Like I remember when I stopped when what's his name? Not Glenn. Aaron. I had thought he got killed. And somebody was like, he's not dead. And I was like,
oh yeah, that was some other dudes. There's like a shit ton of dudes that look like Aaron in the comics.
Yeah, they do. It's only like Kirkman only has 3 styles to draw people. It's just
Kirkman doesn't
like
do
Rick.
It, but yeah.
It's like either everybody looks like Rick or Negan. I feel like I'd be like, because Negan looked like Shane or Shane looked like Negan. I was like, y'all look alike. I'm confused.
Yeah, Aaron did get stabbed, but he didn't die.
I know, and I had told somebody, I was like, he got killed. And it was like, no, he didn't. I was like, really? That's when I had stopped. Then I had got back up to date. It was like, oh, he overran Alexander. Oh, then I guess I gotta go back and read something. I do be jumping all over the place with comics because I get bored with like some arcs and I just be like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, this looks nice. Read it. Then it'll be like, blah, blah, blah.
Them comics, though.
Nobody better ask me anything about this season because I'm gonna be telling lies. Like I'm be like, I didn't watch it.
Fucking
when is
Gimple.
Daryl? Like when do we expect Daryl to die?
Never. I expect him to die always, but he never will. I'm always like, this is the perfect moment for Daryl to die, and then this will be why Rick spares Negan, because Daryl died and he realized that, we can't just kill everybody all the time because it gets you killed. But no, yet again we have the symbol of hope dies.
But you know what I have
so
a problem
fucking
with?
original.
With like when I think somebody had said in the bunker that they spared Carl wants the killing to stop, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, isn't this kind of the point of why y'all did this, was to kill the savior so y'all could be left alone? It was like you kind of conveniently just be like, I want to be peaceful, like a little too late.
Yeah, like why'd y'all start in the first place? Like you could have just been peaceful. Like season 7. Wasn't that what Rick was doing in 7A? And then Carl's like, no, we gotta fight back. And Michonne's like, no, we gotta fight back. And all of a sudden Carl's like, when's the killing stop? Like it fucking stops when you kill Negan.
Right? You have to pay, you conveniently don't want to kill him. I just feel like that's funny. Somebody said that. I was like, this is kind of the point why you started. Like, we started this war so we could like kill people and like have them stop messing with us. But now we're like, oh, please stop killing. Like, no.
I was like, I can get the point about not wanting to kill like good saviors or whatever, or innocent saviors, or saviors that are just there because Negan forced them to be. But it's like, why would you spare Negan?
Remember when we had the bullet factory theory?
Yes, that was great.
That was good.
I mean,
like,
okay. What theory?
Okay, I mean, I wasn't in love with it because I wasn't in love with a whole lot of possibilities. But compared to what we got, it was great. Why the fuck aren't we writers?
Right, we was in there. I don't know if you was there. When we was me and Kat, we was talking about a bullet factory, and we was dead wrong. Couldn't be either far.
Yeah,
securing the bullet factory.
Yeah, remember how Eugene, Abe, and Rosita are the only ones who knew the location of the bullet factory. Like Rick got the recipe or whatever. But anyways, we speculated that maybe what Rosita and Michonne's trip was going to be was like Rosita would mention that there was a bullet factory and she just like, well, we got to go get it. And the reason she hadn't told anyone earlier is because she was unconscious and something triggered her to remember the bullet factory. She's like, okay, we got to go. And Michonne would be like, that's risky or something, or like, I'll go with you so you don't die. I don't know, whatever real Michonne would do. And then so their whole thing would be to go to the bullet factory and then to try and take it from the saviors, because like Eugene would have given the saviors the bullet factory location or something. And then I wasn't super hyped for that because I was just annoyed with everyone going off on solo missions or like two-person missions, and I had this whole rant about how it's like 2 people is a terrible like team number. It should be more like 4, because if it's 2 people and one person gets injured, then you're basically out because the one person has to take the injured person, blah blah blah. So I'm like, the ideal thing for this kind of mission would be like 4 people. So I'm so tired of all these solo people. But the bullet factory would have been so much better.
Kat, I'm thinking about your comment when you was like, ain't it funny? I think it was Jerry. You was like, Jerry gets to die on the first. Stop.
Well, yeah, like, oh yeah, Jerry gets to die depending on whether some white people fuck up. I was like, where have I seen this before? Always killing off the Asian Pacific Islanders because of fucking white people.
I could not stop laughing. I was like, Glenn. He was like, isn't it funny how some white you get fucked because of white people?
Literally before Simon even said that about the people in the car, like if you fuck up, I'm gonna kill Jerry. I was like, I'm just getting Glenn vibes right now. And then he just says, I'm like, motherfucker.
He's like, my life is dependent on some white folks, so you better fuck up white people. I could not stop laughing when I saw her put that comment. I was like, yes, because how many times have anybody been killed because somebody white had did something dumb? I was like, Lord. That's why T-Dog did. That's why Glenn did. That's why Tyrese. Well, technically he was killed. Tyrese.
Who knows why Tyrese is dead?
Beth was killed on the fringes of Down doing something stupid. Well, Down didn't do anything stupid, but he was in the vicinity, so it automatically makes it stupid.
Beth was just inspired by Daryl being there. Like, I'm gonna do something fucking stupid and make Daryl proud.
And she got killed. I was just like, that's so funny, but it's also true.
Denise died because Dwight's fucking stupid. See, white people even kill white people. It's white people is white on white crime.
Right on white crime.
No one's safe from white people.
Negan doesn't have any black saviors. What is the problem? I'm having a real issue.
He had one black savior, the hot chick that was
yes.
I
gotta look that up.
She's not dead. Also, she was too hot to die. So
ain't no affirmative action around here. I just feel like he just can't have any black person help. Damn Negan.
I don't know. I haven't looked too deep at all the random background savers, but yeah, there's conspicuous like whiteness with his leadership.
Yeah, he doesn't have clan member vibe on him at all.
I know there's some random like brown folks amongst the soldiers and whatnot. There was
how did Negan become a leader? Like
I don't know. Maybe he just like kept talking and everyone got like annoyed and just like I guess we'll just do whatever this fucking guy says.
But it was like I could see how the governor became leader. I could see how the gov became leader. Like no shit. Like I could see how he got that position. Mm-hmm. I don't see how Negan, because first of all, Negan isn't a slick talker like the governor. Like that dude could finesse into your panties. Negan couldn't say shit to me that I would be like, oh, like oh my gosh, this is so like good. The governor was like this southern like he was just really smooth, and Negan isn't. It's just like how did you get here?
I don't know. How did Trump get where he is?
By patting every girl in the pussy, I guess.
I guess Negan did the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. I've wondered that too. How the hell did Negan become a leader? Why would anyone follow him? He's so fucking annoying. But then I remember our president is President Trump.
Well, yeah.
I think they try to explain it like in episode 5 of this season. But I forgot what because it was so boring.
It's something like because people want to be safe, whatever, and they think he's a god or something. But like why would you think he's a god?
I honestly don't even see how Rick is a leader. It's just kind of like, I mean, they talked about this many a times. Like Rick don't want to be a leader. Everybody just puts it on him. And I just be like, but Rick really doesn't qualify to be a leader neither. It was like, because he was an officer of the law before the ZA that just like, okay, here, you get the leadership duty. Like, I kind of feel like Michonne has better leadership qualities than Rick.
I would have agreed with you before a few episodes ago, Liv.
Bro, but that was...
It's kind of like Legends of Tomorrow when people just assume the old white guy was the leader. And
yeah, but when you become in Daryl's vicinity, you just get you get the stupids. You just get the stupids.
That must be it, because the Michonne that I saw a few episodes ago should not be a leader.
Yeah, but that's because she was around Daryl, so we automatically qualified to get stupid.
That's why Carl was such a leader tonight, because he doesn't hang around Daryl.
Oh,
That
that's
is
right.
true. That is so
That's
true.
my boy. He
Even
knows who to avoid.
even Rick gets stupid when he's around Daryl. It's just like everybody just start catching the stupids. It's like a disease. Like y'all worried about the zombie affecting y'all over here getting the Daryl stupids. Sorry, Daryl fans, but I'm sorry. That dude is like, I
I'm
just don't
sorry. Not
understand.
sorry. It's facts. Daryl's fucking stupid.
It's just because it's like, if anybody else played that part, I mean, I know Normus Reedus has a very big fan base, but I feel like if anybody else played that part, he would not get away with most of what he was done. I promise.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like Maggie forgiving him,
Yeah.
Rosita
and then
giving
we
him a
see
speech.
Maggie this season. Like, would this Maggie have been like, "It's not your fault, Daryl. Clint thought you were one of the good things in the world, even though he never talked to you in a friendly manner
He was
ever
about
in his entire life because
Daryl
you're
got
a racist
somebody
prick."
buried. Daryl got so many people killed. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter at this point. It does not matter.
I fucking hate. Oh my god, Rosita's fucking speech. Yeah, that's the one that ticked me off when she was just like, it's just a mistake. We all make them. I don't know if I had done this, if something else couldn't have happened. Maybe it's just something you had to work out. Like, your fucking feelings aren't more important than people's lives. No, it's not just something you have to fucking work out. Just wait like a fucking few hours for Rick to get back and then figure out what the fuck you're gonna do. Like, what in the fuck? They drive that truck into the sanctuary and then they just fucking leave. Like,
There was
they are so fucking stupid. I hate fucking every single one of them. Like, they're all dead to me, Michonne included. I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't know who the fuck she is. I did not sign up for whoever the hell that is. It's like, oh, it's okay, Daryl. Blah, 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 blah.
Why did she say sorry to him?
I don't know. I don't
She
know who
was
she is.
apologizing for not believing in his plan or something.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck she is. I don't know who any of these people are. They do not. I don't.
They're dead to
recognize them. They're dead to me. They're wearing dead people's skin. I'm just full on Morgan from Clear now.
I just feel like because people have a favorite character, they tend to bypass stupid. But I try to be unbiased and fair as Clear. I don't care if you're my favorite character. If you're doing dumb shit, you doing dumb stuff. Like, I love Michonne. She's my favorite character. But come on now. I just feel like a lot of this is very, how should I say, like, not
fucking stupid,
not like hypocritical, but it is kind of like, well, why did you do this and then like, why did you do it? Why?
Like, Michonne died in 7/16, as far as I'm concerned.
This show ended to me in 7/12. Like, y'all all know how we don't have to go into reiterate about 7/12. Like, the series finale ended 7/12. 7/8. 7/8 is when it ended.
With Michonne's speech that she just shat all over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She sure did. She was like, we're gonna fight. And like a whole 2 weeks later, because technically it's like 2 or 3 weeks later. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I have guilt now that I got everybody killed. Bitch, it's a little too late to feel guilty. Get your life together.
It was like, we're gonna fight and it's gonna be the both of us. Like, no, now it's me and Daryl fucking up your plan, Rick.
I don't even understand how she was hurt and then she went out. I was like, you know what? I'm about to get frustrated. She could have just left with Rick. She could have just left her dumb ass with Rick. I'm sorry. You went out to go buy him. Oh gosh, don't get me started. I just started that.
Look, she was so hurt she couldn't fight that savior chick apparently, or like punch Daryl or something. But now, like, since Alexandria is burning, she can like kill saviors and slice Walker brains off. Like, what the fuck?
But my thing is her leaving, going to go. That was pointless. She could have just left with Rick. You see what I'm saying? She went and left anyway to go to the same place he was at. I was like, that's kind of stupid.
Yes, and it was like apparently because Rick told her to stay or something. Like, she's just not gonna listen to him. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's
Her
like
whole plot was just to go look and see if a plan's working and go back home. Like,
I feel
wow.
like Michonne hasn't had any real true growth since like season 3. Like that was her last. That was the last of her. She died in season 3.
No, she's had growth since she was growing, like she reverted in season 7, but then she grew from that through like 7B ish sort of, and then just kind of disappeared and came back for 712 and disappeared again. And then in season 8, it's like they forgot season 7 happened and that every season she was ever in happened, and some sort of spirit of stupidity inhabited her instead.
Remember when we thought she was gonna do something so cool in 7? What was that? 8, 7, 6, 7, 7. When she was whistling, it was like, oh,
yeah,
somebody about to get it. We was like,
no, and oh my god, I liked her 7A arc like well enough. I wish there'd been more to it, and that her whatever she'd been doing was actually useful, because all she did was go count the saviors and say, oh yeah, there's a lot of them.
But we already knew that. Like
we knew that in 616. We knew that.
Then she had the same art. Then she did it again in 8, where she was like, let's go check on them. We like, bitch, you already know there's a lot of saviors. Why do you keep leaving?
But didn't she get some new shoes out of that? Because she has new shoes on.
I'm so glad she has new shoes.
Let's forget character growth. Get them goddamn shoes.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe she has to choose one: character growth or new shoes, new wig.
We can't have everything.
He died. Did Carl get new shoes? Somebody gotta get this kid some new shoes. And he died a virgin. Poor baby.
That's okay. That's okay with me. I wanted Carl to be a 40-year-old virgin person.
Dude, poor Carl. Like, he just died lame. Poor thing.
See, it's not anybody's fault except Enid. Enid shouldn't have went to Oceanside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because he would have definitely not got bit helping the guy.
No, see, this is how it works. Tara went to Oceanside, and then when she came back, Denise was dead. So now Enid goes to Oceanside, and when she comes back, Carl will be dead. So actually, it's Enid's fault that Carl died.
But you know what I was thinking? That whole thing of saving Sadiq, that goes all the way to Orange Backpack guy. Y'all didn't do shit for him. The Orange Backpack guy died.
Well, see, that's the thing. Also, remember, Orange Backpack guy has the orange backpack. He died, and then Glenn had the orange backpack. Glenn died. Carl also had the orange backpack. Carl died. So what Carl was actually learning is that when you don't save people, you die. But also when you save people, you die. So what we're really learning is that you always die unless you're Daryl or Negan. And then everyone turns stupid around you and they die and you live.
Wow. I didn't even realize he had the orange. But Doc had said something that CB had pointed out. She said that everybody would lose somebody that was pre-ZA, and I was like, oh shit, that makes crazy sense. Like, Rick has lost Carl, Maggie lost Glenn, Michonne, Mike and the kid. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow, everybody has lost everybody pre-ZA. That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm. But he lost Lori.
Who?
Well, everyone's losing everyone that they knew pre-ZA.
Oh, everyone they lost pre-ZA.
Well, Maggie didn't know Glenn before the ZA though.
Oh. But she lost her family.
She lost her whole family. So if Glenn had survived, she still would have. Everyone around her still would have been someone she met post ZA.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So damn, she lost him too. Ugh.
Like the only people left who knew each other before the ZA was Rick and Carl, and I think like Dwight and Sherry or something.
Oh yeah, Dwight and Sherry. Well, Sherry went. I just feel like the one forget about people.
She just ran off. She literally ran off. Like, it's not just that they forgot about her. She her whole thing. She just ran off.
Where is she? I don't know. She gonna pull a morals when they move to a different kind of place, and you're gonna see her at the ocean side. It'd be Sherry. Is that you?
It's not like her comic arc was. Yeah, it's not like her comic arc was anything to write home about.
Oh no, she's a bad. She's kind of weird in the comics. If I can remember anything about her.
All she does is she goes and she just like goes crazy. I don't even understand why. She just flips a table at Rick while he's talking to her, and then he accidentally kills her. And then the Saviors get real mad because Sherry was their leader, and then Negan talks to them and they chill out. So literally all that happens is that Sherry, Negan's number one known rape victim, gets made out to look like a crazy person, and then Negan swoops in and saves the day. That's what happens. Sherry dies. It's a clean house so that Negan can be
Do you
redeemed. That's
think
what happens.
you think we're going to make it to Alpha before we pull out our hair, or if we
I'm
already quit tonight? Like if
I'm
we
losing my hair. I've been losing my hair.
so
Well,
like
I'm back to losing my hair. I wasn't losing my hair because, like, after Maggie forgave Daryl, I've just exploded and sailed through the rest of the show, just not really caring, just laughing at how stupid it was. And now that there's a cliffhanger and I'm not gonna see like Carl actually die so I can move on for another 2 months, I'm losing my hair again.
but it comes like yeah, well hopefully your hair grow back, but it's like, are we really invested to get Alpha? Because I feel like if the car I feel like Gimple, first of all, is about to write himself into a corner. Because I feel like some characters can save you and finesse you out of some things, but it's like now you have to give another character another arc of a story, and it kind of just be like, why did you do that? Like, it's like they gave Daryl some of like Carl stuff. And you know what? We should have kind of got this because last year we were complaining that like during spoiler seasons, I guess, that there was like Daryl was getting all the arc. Like, what is left for Carl? And we kind of already kind of sealed Carl's fate. Now that I think about
Yeah.
it, we was like, what is
Yeah.
they're gonna kill Carl because they don't give anything to him, and it's technically true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Daryl will probably end up getting it on with like a 16-year-old girl because that's about NR's preferred age.
It's 16 and a half in the ZA. Xander, he gonna pull a Xander. I mean, Gregory.
He's gross.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I just feel like people like tonight have said they're like done with this show. Like DON, stick a fork in it.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of like, are you gonna go like invest in it like next year when you just want to see where they're at?
I don't know. We'll have to see next year, I guess. Because I was there's like I think I was saying this in the bunker earlier at some point in my life that there's like levels of done. It's just like your investment chips away slowly.
Mm-hmm.
There's like I was done with 616 and I was done with 701 and I was done with 714 and I was just done at lots of levels. I was done with Michonne being stupid. There's just levels of done, and sometimes you don't even realize there was some aspect you still cared about until that aspect is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something you just don't even imagine. Like I didn't imagine getting to a point where I would say "fuck Michonne." That wasn't something I believed was possible.
You was going off. You was like, "Fuck Michelle, fuck Rick, fuck Daryl, fuck Tyra, fuck Rose."
Like I'm normally more pissed at Rick than I am at Michonne. So I just think Rick was kind of dumb for the GPK, but I don't know. I'm just maybe. This is the first time I've really, truly been pissed at Michonne, so that's why it's just stuck with me.
Gimple's gonna be like, if you're mad at Michonne, then that's called character development. Like, no, and you.
It's like, okay, you can make any character do anything, and I might be mad. That doesn't mean it's character development.
Yeah, because it's like they're saying you're emotionally invest. Yeah, you emotionally invest because you're like, why are you doing something so dumb?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, if you have an emotion, that's good. Like, no, like there's a specific the thing I'm frustrated about isn't that this was good. It's that it makes no fucking sense for this character to do this thing, and also because it's fucking stupid.
The GPK thing was the most stupidest thing I ever. That's like, Caesar got stabbed by Brutus, as we know. That's like Caesar getting stabbed and saying, "Hey, can I get stabbed some more?" And hey, why don't you join me? Even though you're betraying me at the same time. Like, who the fuck does
Oh
that?
no, see, Brutus just grazed Caesar. Just grazed him, okay?
Even though he grazed him, it's like he's asking for more stabbings by asking to join his crew. Like, yo, even though you tried to assassinate me that one time, you want to come back? Hey, sure. Let me finish you off. Like, I don't even see the GPK plot. Like, I don't even know who they, like, what are they, like, who are they? Really?
People are thinking, yeah, Jadis is going to become Alpha, so the whole reason Gimple has Rick going there is just to establish her as like what jumping point they're going to come from for when she becomes Alpha. But it's just that, yeah, what possible reason would Rick actually have in that moment to go to the GPK? Like, every way that I have thought about what the plot could be just comes out as like mathematically stupid.
Remember, Daryl punches him like the episode before, so maybe like Liv says it did something to him, made him dumber.
Except this was always part of the plan, even before Daryl punched him. Like they were talking about it back in whatever episode with the outpost.
I kind of wish we saw a strategy session. Like,
yes.
How did they come up with this plan?
Yeah, if we knew what the plan was, it'd be easier to be invested in.
It's like the cutting table is retarded. They'd be like, "Let's take out the most important stuff out this episode." Okay, and it's like, let's show the GPA.
It's like, and we don't know what the plan is. So we don't know the significance of anything that anyone is doing, and we don't know like what the significance of people going off the plan is. Like, I don't. If you don't know what the plan is, you don't know anything. There's no context. There's no understanding what anyone is doing or why we should care.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's not, and that's not on the viewership. It's it's the people who make the show. It's their job to provide the context to show and tell what the fuck is happening, because they own the world. Like, it's not like a puzzle that we're supposed to put together with incomplete pieces.
Yeah, other shows tell you the plot. Everybody knows the plan is never going to go like they want it to, but every other show shows you the plot, tells you what's going to happen. See them strategize and brainstorm.
You should make me wonder why I should care. I'm sorry. I just thought about what she said that because it's true. It's like I have not watched it and I've never really like cared to like watch this. I might watch the the mid-season finale tonight, but it's like, why should I care, or if I should invest into this story because you're not telling me nothing. Mm-hmm. It's like, go back in season 2 and and then they'll have some Easter eggs that'll tell you what's happening in season 8. Like, who wants to do that? I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's like they drop you in the middle of something they drop you in the middle of something that's already happening and then expect you to like figure it out, or they say, oh, it'll make sense by whatever point. Like, no, it should make sense now. Right now. I shouldn't have to rewatch things in order to just understand what's happening. It's cool to rewatch something and then find something you hadn't seen before and understand it with your new context, but you should still be able to watch an episode and understand from that first viewing what is going on.
Mm-hmm. And this type of storytelling kind of drags the story because then they use dialogue to try to over-explain certain aspects. I'm like,
I still don't understand what Daryl say. He be like, I'll be what, Daryl? Like, who can understand Daryl? It's like the teacher from Charlie Brown. I'm like, what does he say? It's like, yeah, man, you can't swallow it. What? Speak with your words. Dude.
Well, he lied to Michonne today. I understood that. He said his plan worked.
He didn't fucking know if his plan worked. He left. How the hell did he even pull his plan off?
He said, I know he lied to Michonne today.
And Michonne's lie detector apparently isn't working because she's like believed Daryl's bullshit this whole time. I think Michonne is in love with Daryl. That's the only way I can explain this.
Y'all gonna get mad at Y and B for saying this, but she said Michonne would get weaker once she started fucking Rick, and I'm kind of like on that. Like I'm like not there, but I'm
Bro,
jumping on that
at this
cliff.
point,
I ain't lying.
apparently, I didn't agree with her when she said that, but the way she's been written lately, I guess so.
She like, I've been getting fucked, so now I've lost all my mind. Like, good dick makes you do that. Bad dick makes you keep your mind. I guess I would rather just keep bad dick. Like, good dick make you lose your mind. That's true. That's true.
I guess so. Like, it's not something I wanted to agree with, but that's apparently what's been happening.
Like, the people that have been talking, like, been saying stuff that we don't agree with have been actually hitting the mark. I'm sorry. Like, it's unfortunately, like, we not seeing it there, but it's kind of like, Michonne, you're not, I guess because her writing hasn't been up to par neither, but it's like, ever since he been hitting that every night, it's kind of like you doing some questionable things.
Like
Rosita,
it's especially because it didn't have to be that way. I don't know what the fuck happened or what. I don't know if they went in thinking like, okay, we're gonna write Michonne as being just stupid now because she's with Rick, or I don't know why. Maybe they're just like, let's just write Michonne doing this thing because we need it because plot. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
They're writing everything to plot. Everybody is just being twisted to fit the plot.
Carl is, Tara is,
I mean,
is.
I could see last
Jesus is
7 people doing, I guess because you was desperate. And it's like, you're not desperate for a W right now. Like, last year you was desperate because you was under Negan's, thumb. So it made sense why you did stupid things, but you still can't be stupid. Like, if they did they did actually. Had they did I needed more workers and help with the scavengers, which they did last year, that plot still isn't pertaining to this year. I don't know why they're still doing it. That's what's kind of pissing me off.
Liv, like the episode where Rick goes to the GPK to secure their alliance this season was basically the same shit as last season. Just the same shit, except he was the only one there, and he was naked. That is it. We learned no new information. The only new information we got is that like Jadis or whatever sculpts naked. That's like the new information we got. Everything else, same
How
shit.
Does that pertain to anything? Like, why is she naked?
I don't know. They're quirky. That's how they decided to be quirky. They couldn't just be quirky because they make garbage sculptures. They have to be naked too. It's just dirty. She's sitting in this dirty ass chair with her naked butt.
That's why I'm so questioning. Like, I'm over here like, why? You pretty much took season 7 and duplicated it into 8. Like, it's the same season.
It's just even stupider because, like, why would you go to the GPK again?
Take out
you already know.
Take out 7-12 and 7-1, and it's the same episodes. It's like, wow, that's where I thought this was season 7. Like, I can't. My eyes are playing tricks on me.
Except even dumber because I still thought that the point of Michonne's 7A plot, like what she was trying to accomplish out there, ended up being stupid, but the rest was like at least emotionally invested. But her season 8A plot is even stupider because all she's doing is checking on the thing and then going home and shit's all over season 7. So it's like, wow.
Speaking of stupid, the walkie-talkies. Why did they get batteries for them shits if they never use them anyway?
The snipers were using them, and I think the walkies, they might not have enough range to be able to use between the communities because there's like something between 20-60 miles depending on what kind of walkie you got, and the distance between the communities might be longer than that, so that might be why they're not using the walkies to be like from the sanctuary, blah 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 blah, update, and then at ASC, okay, cool, thanks for the update. But that doesn't mean they can't like have some patrols going on, have their own little midway points.
Nope, they deserve to be slaughtered as a community. I'm sorry. They just deserve to just get slaughtered. It's just like the end of the Alexandrians. Because it's just like, well, I will say one thing about Negan. He runs a tight shift. And it's just like Alexander don't.
Somehow. Forever, did you want to chime in at all?
I'm here for support. Yeah, emotional support.
For emotional support as me and Liv just destroy the Walking
Dead.
Yeah, I was like, they deserve ASZ do deserve to get slaughtered this season. Like he's just in there just rambling all up.
Everyone's fucking stupid. Everyone coddles Daryl and he does a bunch of shit and then everyone's like, oh, that's okay that you did that, Daryl.
We might talk mad shit about Carol, but I think Carol has the best storyline out of all of them because she's actually, even though she has the same redundancies, but her character, I feel like her story is more, I guess you can do more with it than everybody else currently because everybody else is just doing stupid shit. But Carol is kind of like, well, I'm trying to go into the right direction. Even Morgan, I kind of like Morgan, Carol's, and Zeke. I don't really want Zeke and Carol to get together because gosh, I just don't want that. But it's just like they the ones with the better storyline, in my opinion.
Yeah. Agreed.
I used to hate like when Carol do something stupid because it would always be outrageous. Like when she had the machine gun in her jacket and that shit didn't catch on fire or break her arm, and it's just like, okay, fine, give her the badass thing. I'll give her that. But it's like her story is actually going somewhere. Everybody else is just Rick goes through a bunch of man pain. Michonne goes through a bunch of man pain and gets stupid. Daryl, well, that's Daryl, and then it's just like everybody else does the same thing. Like Maggie, the only 2 times I see Maggie, she's always talking to somebody and have a gun in her hand, and it's just like okay, and she's running. Like that's like
I thought Rosita was going to grow after last episode, and then this episode she gives that stupid speech.
She's just backtracked. I was like, I'm like, fuck.
The problem with Rosita, she does something that puts her 3 steps forward and then put her 10 steps back. You'd be, girl, go by.
Well, at least it's consistent. I mean,
consistent. She keeps
I guess that's.
I guess so. I guess you're gonna get knocked back.
It's just a different pattern. Instead of a cycle, she's just like going forward and back and forth. She's doing a little dance.
She's doing a salsa because that's pretty much what she is doing. She's doing that. Like I don't know. I just feel like they should kill her, Tyra, and let's be done. Like just be done. Because I feel like Walking Dead has no real use for them. You killed Carl, but it was like you killed the wrong kid. Like y'all literally killed the wrong person. You have no use for Tyra whatsoever.
They're always killing the wrong person. They're always killing the hopeful character. Or if they're not the hopeful character, they turn the character into the hopeful character and then they kill them.
You killing Carl on what basis? On what basis does he need to die, Gimple?
Gimple's whole fucking explanation was that Carl had he had to lead Rick to decide to spare Negan or whatever. Like, okay, first of all, it's stupid. Second of all, why the fuck does Carl need to die to get that done? Is that the only fucking way that characters learn anything on the show? Is that someone has to die and then they finally fucking get it? Why can't Carl be alive to do this stupid plot that you want? That doesn't make fucking sense that he needs to die in order for Rick to learn.
Y'all laugh when Glenn said he would kill Rick if the story made sense for him. Gimple is doing the same thing because he's making Rick unrelatable even as a character. I cannot relate not want to kill a guy that got my kid killed. Like I cannot even relate to that. I cannot. Gimple is starting to make Rick unrelatable. Like they be doing those little Twitter things where they be like Rick versus Negan, are they the same people? It's kind of like he's doing this like subliminal thing to like everybody to not like Rick and start liking Negan. He's trying to make it the Negan show. That's why that whole story about they did it for Negan. Fuck that. Nah, they did it because they want Negan to run the show. Like, just kill Gimple. Just kill Rick. Just kill him. Kill Rick, Michonne, and Tyra. Just call it Negan.
Walking Negan.
Walking Negan.
I'm like, I agree. Like, if killing a character will serve the story or whatever, go ahead and do it. I just get so pissed about what characters they decide to kill and for what reason, and then go acting like this is how the story had to be. Like, it didn't have to be this way. You just decided to make it this way. It's just, I get more frustrated that they basically feed me a line of bullshit as an explanation for why they kill characters. Like, just be fucking honest. Like, this did not need to happen in order for the things that you want to accomplish to happen. These characters could have lived, and the story could have gone on. You could have left Glenn alive. Maggie's story could have been intact.
It's just lazy writing. Like they can't think of anything else. So let's just kill a person for man pain and whatever.
And
I mean,
it's like Maggie can still be pissed at the saviors without having to have to do with without having to forgive Daryl for one, and it doesn't have to involve Glenn being dead, because I don't know, maybe they never paid attention to Maggie like most of the fucking viewership, but she's a fucking badass. Like, I could have seen season 2 and 3 Maggie doing everything that season 8 Maggie is doing. But she even mentions like she grew up country. Like, I know what to do with like shooting wolves or whatever. Like, she's been through shit besides Glenn dying. That's not the only horrible thing that ever happened to her. And then they have Jesus all of a sudden being the one who doesn't want to kill people. Like, I don't know. I think the thing is that was kind of Glenn's shtick, and then they killed him, and then now all of a sudden Jesus is like, let's keep prisoners and not kill people. Like, what the? It's like they were like, oh, there's no plot for Glenn. Like, well, you had like a character who was doing like the Glenn thing. So I don't fucking know.
Well, they just moved Glenn's spirit to Jesus. That's basically what they do when they kill a character. So whoever, I don't know who's gonna embody Carl. I'm assuming Eden.
Probably.
She's gonna embody Carl. Like, Carol is embodying every badass thing that every other girl did. So whatever Maggie does, badass just goes to Carol. Maggie's has been. Don't get me wrong about Maggie, but Maggie's been boring, and it's not her fault. It's not really her fault. She's boring. It's just what they did to her. It's like she did that one thing with Sasha, and it was like, okay, wow. Like, yeah, they attacked the hilltop, and
she's had more stuff to do this season, but they didn't give her much the season before that. She had stuff in 6B and a little bit in 6A. I actually forgot some of the stuff she did in 6A because I tried to delete most of 6A from my memory.
She stayed
most of 6A wasn't
for like a whole episode or something.
Yeah, it wasn't too much. There was like there's a little bit in JSS where she was growing tomatoes or something and talking to Deanna about leading, and then that doesn't do anything until 610 or not 610, some like 611 or something. She mentions it to Glenn. So it was like these like tiny little minor threads. And
I remember the goddamn tomatoes. Did they ever grow?
They didn't grow. It was barren.
He was like, nah, they didn't grow. They're still there, being vines or whatever the hell. But the hilltop got good vegetables, and Negan has good vegetables. What the fuck wrong with ASV Zorro?
And she had some like 2 good things. Like the bottle episode, same boat, was good for her. Everyone just ignored Maggie's part for Carol, but she did a lot in the episode.
I only remember
she came up with
her hair.
She came up with the Walker plan, and she killed the crap out of that one savior. And she had that one scene. She had a lot of different scenes.
Oh yeah. She did have that scene where she was in there with Carol. I forgot about that. See, just how this show has lost like my interest. I just forgot when you mentioned that when she killed that thing.
Yeah, Carol. Mostly people just talked about Carol in the same boat, but Maggie actually did do like at least half the shit in
Maggie
the same
more
boat.
than I remember Carol, because I remember Carol just smoking a cigarette and talking her way out of shit. And that was
having a little
she was
panic
mostly just
attack.
crying. Yeah,
that's mostly how Carol's gotten away from everything, crying. The bitch didn't cry herself. She'd be like, oh, Lord, no, tear, and then the fools fall for it every time. I'd be like, nah, crazy ass white woman, you get your ass over there.
And then
fuck you crying for?
And then 6'11" set her up with when she carried like the hilltop deal, but
I
not
remember when Rick
not too
kicked her
much for
out.
Maggie.
Those were the good old days. Remember when Rick kicked her out?
Oh, dude, I had this spec. Oh my god. Back in season 6, I had the coolest speculation ever. Oh man, I was like, okay, Glenn's gonna get kidnapped after the lineup, and then Maggie's gonna like be super pissed at Rick, and then it was gonna be like an inversion of the season 5 finale where Maggie and like Abe and some other TF are like defending Rick at his trial, and then it would be a callback to Carol's banishment, and Maggie, because her and Glenn were actually closer with most of like the B and C casts of Team Family than Rick was, they were going to get all of Team Family on their side, and then like banish, or Maggie was going to like banish Rick, and then Michonne would go with him, because they were all just like pissed that he wasn't standing up to Negan or whatever while Glenn's captured. So it was going to be like, instead of Maggie running the hilltop and then Rick running Alexandria, it would be Maggie running Alexandria, and then like Rick and Michonne having nowhere else to go would just end up at the hilltop, and eventually they'd just get so tired of Gregory they'd just like overthrow him and then take over.
Oh, that's a cute fan fiction.
cool.
That's pretty much how that's gonna be. Fan fiction, because they did everything exactly not what you just said. They killed
I know, right?
They didn't banish Rick. Matter of fact, they wasn't even mad at him. They were like, "Okay, Rick, we'll be little bitches forever." And then Michonne pretty much did.
No,
Michonne
people were mad at Rick. They just, because that was what Rosita was shooting people and Michonne was storming off. People were mad at Rick. They just weren't like overthrowing him and banishing him.
Whatever happened to Michonne being a sniper? That shit just disappeared. I just realized.
I don't know. I also had this after I was mad at Michonne for not being Michonne. I had like this other alternate plot for her, which I have on the forum. I don't know what happened to her being a sniper. Do you want to hear my alternate plot?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so it was going to be Michonne actually being like a co-leader, and she was going to actually be in charge of watching the sanctuary while everyone else was carrying out the plan, and being in charge of all the snipers and lookouts and making sure the plan was going according to plan, since that was the running from home to go check on the sanctuary. Like, well, you should have someone managing the sanctuary in like situation. That's actually why don't you have someone doing that? So she, and then Rosita would be her lieutenant, and they would have been like assigned to that because, for one, Michonne's a sniper, and then for two, they can both be recovering from their injuries or whatever, and they can't go do worse stuff. So they're just sitting and managing the plot. So it wouldn't have taken too much more screen time than she was given to accommodate for Denai's like Marvel stuff or whatever. But then basically they could still have all the conversations that they had about, waiting and blah, 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 whatever they want to do. But then like Daryl and Tara still come in and do their thing, but Michonne doesn't know about it. They approached Rosita because they assume that she would be in on their plan, because they're like, oh, Rosita's stupid, she'll join us. And then Rosita's character development is deciding, hey, this is stupid, and telling Michonne, and then Michonne goes to try and stop them, and then she's not able to do it or something, or she's too late or whatever, and then the plan, they drive the truck into the sanctuary, and then shit goes to hell, and Michonne has to try and like keep the plan from being ruined, and then she only has all the snipers and Daryl and Tara, who all betrayed her, to try and stop the plan from going haywire. So she's got to struggle with that, and the only person she has is really on her side is Rosita. And then eventually the saviors get out. So we see how they get out, and then Michonne's still trying to like keep the plan together and freaking out, and eventually Rosita has to drag her back to Alexandria and just say, like, it's gone, like we can't do anything to salvage the plan, it's just over, all we can do is get back to Alexandria or whatever, and like try and warn them, that's all we can do. And then Michonne just has to accept that she can't like overcome the impossible. And also it would show her being a leader but still struggling because the people she was supposed to be leading didn't listen to her. So it would start like a real leadership arc for her, like an actual challenge for an actual leader.
You should have known this shit was gonna happen because that was way too much TV time for my show. Second of all, girl,
it didn't have to be too much. It wouldn't have taken that much. It would have taken like slightly more time than she was given. Like what did she do in the episodes that she was in? Drive around and stare out the window and then like not kill anyone.
She did that in 4, 8? I don't even remember. Sometime in season 7, she was looking at the window while driving that stupid Savior girl.
And like in the opening parts for I think it was 806, they established that the lookouts exist.
Yeah, Kat, so what you can be doing at work? You be like thinking of this.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so you can just do that part with 806 where they're just establishing where everyone is, and you just show Michonne like being in charge of the lookouts, and Rosita's there, and blah 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 blah. And then when the time would come for the part that was in the actual episode, all you have to do is have them, instead of getting in a car and then talking vaguely about whatever, just have them have another conversation, kind of establishing their feelings about the plan, and like all this part while they were driving. Just take the same stuff and readjust it. So instead of it being about them, I have to see it with my eyes. Just make it about the actual plan that they're maintaining and their doubts and whether they know if it's gonna work out and they don't know, blah blah blah. But just make it about them actually participating in the plan instead of just being like, oh, I hate that I was like benched for this. I'm a child. And then all the Daryl and Tara stuff stays like the same, except they're just talking to Rosita. And then when Rosita storms off, she doesn't just leave to let them like do whatever. She goes to Michonne and is like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And then instead of just while the part that shows Daryl and Tara trying to pull off the plan with all the snipers and Morgan or whatever, you just show Michonne like being made aware of the plan and then trying to stop them. And then you can just cut out some like extra Eugene stuff to show the saviors getting out.
That was never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
It's basically the same amount of screen time that Michonne actually got. Like
that sounds like more screen time than anybody.
I did like some parts of this don't even have Michonne in them. It's just rearranging what was already there.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
He's trying to execute the story better.
Yeah, that's a lot of screen time for Michonne. I mean, Rick ain't even got that much screen time. It's all Negan.
It wasn't that much Negan this season. He didn't show up after the finale until 805, and then he was in like a little bit for 807, and then the finale. JDM was filming. But that's why there wasn't that much Negan, because he was busy, which is fine.
I feel like JDM isn't even that big of a movie. Like, he's a big star, but he's not that big. I didn't even realize who the fuck he was until he got on this show.
I only know him because he was the another guy I hated on Supernatural.
Yeah, this is the most popular thing.
I know him from that Halle Berry
The Walking Dead, the most popular thing for him?
Probably.
Yeah. Grey's Anatomy, he was on there too, and The Good Wives. Oh, but I didn't care about none of those shows. I just looked into his background. I just felt like he was an actor that you saw and you never paid attention to him, and it's kind of still the same.
I think Silas called him like Budget Gerald Butler or something.
I can see it.
She said Budget Gerald Butler.
Yeah, that's what she did.
That's what, he doesn't even look like nobody. More like, ooh.
But they do have the same kind of attitude, kind of personality, so I can see it.
I think they just have the same, like, peppery beard. I think that's what they got.
I was just going to say, like, a peppery beard. Like, JDM is more like, shit, I don't even know who to say he is. Like,
he's more like smarmy or something.
Like, George Clooney, like.
He's just smarmy. Gerald Butler just looks mad all the time, and JDM just looks sleazy.
JDM looks sick. That's why, like, every time I see him getting super small, I'm just like, what's wrong with you?
Eat a sandwich. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, dude's tall and skinny. Like, when he started, I felt like he should have, like, Negan in the comics was thick and bigger. And it's like, JDM is
He kind of
just
looks like
skinny.
an overblown baby in the comics.
Yeah, JDM looks just weird. Like, he fits the character, but he just weird. I always said he looked like Farcorn. I always say that. Like, he looks just like Farhard. I say.
He looks
Every
like that
time
guy
he
from
speaks, it's like he's always doing too much. I think his scene with Carl was the only time I saw Negan even feel remotely authentic like a person, and that's because he wasn't talking.
He even talks like a Farcorn. Now that I think about it, I say. Oh boy, I was like, somebody get Farcorn off this thing because he even got the little red scarf. I say, it won't be up with him. Farcorn, somebody get Farcorn out of here. I say. He even talk like it. Ew, now that I think about it. He do be saying stuff like that. He's like, Rick.
He does. He sounds like he's trying to impersonate a cartoon.
And it's Foghorn. Fuck, he should be suing Foghorn. Who's Foghorn? Who made that? I don't even fucking Hanna-Barbera. He needs to come sue. He's probably dead, but who cares? He better sue. I say Rick. This ain't even good. Oh fuck. You wanna get Negan, Foghorn Jones out of here? What is Negan's last name?
He doesn't have
Foghorn
one.
Jones.
His last name is Hanna-Barbera.
Negan Hanna-Barbera Jones. Foghorn Jones. This name has to be Jones. Just because it's Negan.
He's got that kind of look like, oh yeah, you're kind of generic like a Jones.
Yeah, exactly. He got that Jones look.
Oh, I just realized I burned Morgan. I'm sorry. He wears it well.
I say this is what it's gonna be like.
with his Tony the Tiger scarf.
He does. This dude is like foggy.
He's just an amalgamation of cartoon characters.
He is. He like JDM, like, you know, when an actor studies or try to embody something, they like look and follow things. This dude wouldn't go look at Hanna-Barbera cartoons. He's like Elmer Fudd, Bugs Bunny, Foghorn all in one. It's like I'm watching a cartoon show in a person. I say, what's up, Doc? What's cooking? The bunny rabbit. The bunny rabbit. Is it hunting season? It's like he is all those people. Ew.
Yeah, and he has the subtlety of Fred Flintstone, so I can see it. That's what he did. Well, he has a son, so he was watching cartoons with his son. And just light bulb moment.
When Carl was asking Negan, "Is this what you wanted to be?" Negan was like, "Oh no, I wanted to be a cartoon."
I say I want to be a cartoon. Yep. And then he'd be leaning. Oh my gosh. I don't know what JDM was thinking when he was building this character. I hope he goes back to the drawing board. I don't think
he got it from a storyboard. So he
got it from one panel of the comics where Negan was leaning. Comic Negan doesn't lean that much, but he just saw this one panel of Negan leaning. He was like, yeah, that's who Negan is. A guy who leans all the time.
I mean, Negan in the comics, I feel like I don't care what anybody say, he's not as bad as the governor in the comics. I hope nobody takes that. He's like not even like the governor in the comics is like an adult and that's a child. Negan is a child. But I just feel like Negan in the comics is just he's one dimensional, and that's pretty much how it's always going to be for him.
Yeah, I mean, the governor in the comics like chopped off Rick's hand within like 5 minutes of meeting him for no reason at all, and like straight up raped Michonne for how many days, and then has Glenn listen. Like the governor in the comics is I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, he's the worst villain. I swear,
he's
like,
just pure villainy.
like the TV one ain't as bad as the TV one is like beautiful opposed to the
he
one in the
was.
comics.
I mean, I had a few criticisms of how they portrayed him in the TV show, but he's like leagues away better. TV governor, way better than comic governor. I don't understand how comic governor became a leader either, but I could see David Morrissey's governor
Yeah, I could see
taking over
David Morrissey
something.
governor. I was thinking when I had said that, I was like, I definitely can't see the comic governor being a governor. Like when I was saying that,
He
like I
looks
could
like a
see it.
fucking pirate.
Yeah, he did. He had a patch over his eye. I was like,
Just
no
like
questions asked.
he's a cartoon pirate too. Like, why would these supposedly like
See.
regular Woodbury people follow this dude? And how could he possibly accumulate this community of people if every time he meets someone, he just like chops their arm off?
Right? He did chop off Rick's arm in like 2 seconds. That's true. I do kind of remember that.
It's just like they meet him. He's like, I'm a villain. Chop stand.
Yeah, because I think he was trying to get Michonne or something back. Something he was trying to do, and he was like, "You're not getting that bitch." And shoo, I'm like, okay, well, you're not getting your arm back neither. Like, can I have my arm back?
Yeah, I can't remember if he chopped Rick's hand off after Michonne bit his ear off or before. I can't remember, but yeah,
I can't remember that neither. I'm thinking
he was making some stupid ass point, and he's like, "I'm so serious. I'm gonna chop your hand off."
I just remember he raped the shit out of her, and I felt uncomfortable about reading it, so I passed it. I just remember it would go out. It was like it would have screams. It wouldn't show you, but it was like scream Then it would go to the next page, and she'd be all sweaty and sad. And I was like, okay, next.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how she escaped. Somebody helped her, and then
yeah,
she like fucked his ass off.
Rick and the others found her and let her go, and then they were going to go do
she
something, and then she left to go.
Yeah, she went back to go whip his ass.
Yeah.
He's technically not even dead in the comics because she just left him.
No, he's alive in the comics. Or I mean, he is dead in the comics. She didn't kill him, but when he came back to the prison, when the prison fell, one of his own people killed him.
Yeah, see, that's why.
And fed him to walkers. Right? Yeah, it was the same person in the show and in the comics. It was Lily.
Oh, that girl, that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, why that lady killed him? Because he shot his daughter in the face, but wasn't the baby turned into a zombie anyway? So it's kind of like pointless.
No, I don't know. I have no idea why TV Lily killed him. Maybe she just all of a sudden realized he was a bad dude. Comic Lily killed him because she shot Lori and Judith, and she realized that the governor was making her kill babies, so she got real mad at him, and his reaction to her accusing him of that was to be like, who fucking cares? So then she like shot him and kicked him into a bunch of walkers and took over.
Yeah, she was like, get your baby hating ass out of here.
Basically.
Get your baby hating ass. That sounds about right. Oh my gosh. Why is the girl from the Daredevil in this show? I hate her on Daredevil, and I hate her on here too.
On the
what girl? What show?
The Punisher.
The Punisher. She on the Punisher too. She on Daredevil. The girl that's from True Blood.
Karen. Nobody likes Karen. Auntie doesn't like Karen. I don't like. Silas doesn't like her. Nobody likes her.
Silas likes Karen, but it's not like a super lot.
She tolerates Karen because.
I'm not even gonna lie. She'd be like that white woman. So there, I'm gonna just say that. It's just like I don't understand. I don't understand why TV shows do this. It's like, who the fuck is she? Like, who are you? Like, what makes you so special? I hate this. I hate this about a lot of TV shows. There just be some random chick and she be getting all the dudes, and I be, wow, what makes you so special? In real life, we'd play you. He'd play you, cheat on you, and do all kinds of bad things to you. Ugh, I don't like Karen just because they try to put you in her face all the time. Like, they just be trying to pull a Jessie. Like, you just look at her. I don't want to look at her. Look at her some more.
That's why I didn't like Root on whatchamacallit.
For that bitch. I like Root. I couldn't stand Shaw. I was alright with Root. I couldn't stand Shaw because they piggybacked her off of
Carter.
Off of Taraji P. Henson. Yup, they piggybacked the shit out of her. Like, because they knew she wasn't strong enough of a character to bring her in, so they had to use her Carter,
Is this
and
person
then
of
they be like,
interest?
"Yep."
Oh.
Y'all think Carl's death is sad? See hers. Carl death ain't as kids play to Carter's. I'm sorry. There's just nothing in this world that's probably gonna ever beat her death.
Yeah, especially with the phone ringing in the background.
Yeah, and nobody wanted to answer. The black people had. Oh, here's one cat. The black people had to infringe on a telephone and nobody answered. No, her life was on the fringes of nobody answering the telephone, which ironically was next to some white people who didn't answer. So she died. She did. Jerry's life was in the hands of some crazy. So she died because the white people didn't answer the phone. She died. Well, that theory we was talking about. They got no white people. If your life is on the balance of some white people, you about to die. That's how it be in the scary movies too. The first person of color dies. Somebody asked a question one time on Facebook. What happens in scary movies? And somebody said the minorities always die. I thought that was so funny because it was true. Let me see what y'all doing.
Or they're just not there because they're too smart to be hanging out with white people.
Yep. Because I don't want my life in their hands. Jerry. Poor Jerry. He never had a chance. He was like, I'll kill you if anybody wants.
Well, Jerry's alive, so
Yeah.
he did have a chance.
I don't care. Is just mad. She gonna live it. Let's see who else live it. I'm just going back into the Walking Dead. Carl Grimes has been through a lot of shit, and you go and kill him in the most stupid way that you could. I don't know. That's probably one of y'all.
Yeah, I know I had that opinion. Just like watching after and all the zombies he's managed to survive when he was like super tiny, and then that's how he dies.
But to be honest,
Fucking Walker
I'm
Bite.
so used to this. Like when they killed, like I had been stopped watching it though. But when Sleepy Hollow did some bullshit like this, it was just kind of like whatever. I'm so accustomed to this. I'm so accustomed to this. You just don't understand. Like I'm not surprised by anybody's death anymore. It's just like if they killed Rick off, I'm not surprised by it. It was just due time.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been advertising basically that Rick would die eventually since like the first or second season or something. It wouldn't be surprising. Like, okay, we know it's happening, we just don't know when.
I'm surprised they didn't kill Judith. Oh, Judith outlasts Carl too. Now that we're talking about death, like oh Judith last her brother.
That's just sad.
It is. I just like I'm so used to this stupid stuff where these producers just reel you in to
They
fuck
never
you
kill
up.
the people you want them to kill. Like they kill
Nope.
everybody but.
Yep.
I'm just sad Judith's gonna grow up without knowing her big brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh my.
Rashona have a new baby, or L. Is it her or other one? I ain't gonna call out names, but we already know who we talk about. They'll be like, oh, they'll have a new kid since black women don't get
Kids don't
pregnant or some
replace each
shit.
other. Yeah.
The ones on Walking Dead do, because clearly they don't even remember half the kids they done killed up.
No, oh yeah,
Sophia.
fucking.
They killed so many kids in
They're
this.
gonna have Roshone have a baby, and they're gonna play it in the worst way possible. Just watch.
Yep, they're
Probably.
gonna have. Yep, the child gonna, and then somebody gonna try to steal a baby as if the baby is the key to the survival of the whole universe. It's gonna be Alpha trying to steal their baby. You're gonna be like, oh lord, just kill everybody. Just let that house burn down with them in it alive. I don't care. Kill them. The baby gonna be trying to get taken. They're gonna be like, oh, the baby is a sacrifice. It's gonna be like Jesus in the ZA because you just want that baby.
Do you think they'll have a scene where Judith asks for Carl? Because I mean, she does know.
If they do, I may go catatonic. I don't. This is not
Because they
acceptable.
showed her saying bye bye today. with
That's
Michonne.
so
So
stupid. She said, I'm going to try to. Well, you're going to just wait because she's going to be like, where's my brother? And then she's going to start crying, and Kat's going to be, fuck this show, fuck Judith, fuck Gimple, fuck everybody. Fuck Gimple, fuck Judith for asking such that question. Fuck it all. I'm
but
getting off this site.
if they skip over it, I'll be probably more mad if they like
Mhm.
skip over it.
I thought they were supposed to say "I love you." Stop listening to them actors. They're liars. This their jobs. That's all I'm
They
saying.
didn't say that they were gonna say "I love you" in the mid-season finale though, and technically Andy didn't say that they were gonna say "I love you." Everyone just thought they heard Denai say that that he spoiled it, so they didn't say any. They did not claim to say anything. Just Andy said that he would like for Rick to finally say that he loves Michonne, and then Denai later did something, and people kind of thought they heard her say that he spoiled it. And there's still 8 more episodes left in the season, so they're not lying yet.
I think actors always lie. You can't trust them. I mean, they're fucking lie for a job. Like, you really. He say "I love you." Do you really believe it? And he'd be like, "Babe, I love you." No, you don't. You're an actor. You don't love me or anybody but yourself. Take that over there. But yeah, I don't know. I just take whatever actors say with a grain of salt. I just have to because I don't trust you. No,
Well, they did also say that this
no
season is really
meanness.
awesome.
They did.
They lied like a mug, especially Andy.
What Andy
Andy lied
always
like
looks
there's
on the
no
bright
tomorrow.
side. So.
Andy always say good stuff. He'd be like, "This season is phenomenal." Everybody dies.
Well, you can kind of
Yeah.
tell last season that he wasn't happy about 7A. So
Oh, he had his 7 emails to Gimple about why the hell is Rick
First
not
of all,
able to.
Andy's so old school. Why is he emailing anybody? Like, who answer those? Don't email me
I don't know.
nothing.
Maybe he can't get Gimple on the phone, so email's his only option.
Gimple blocked him. He doesn't receive texts from Andy anymore. So,
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, Andy had that flip
Okay,
phone
really?
forever. So he probably.
Maybe Gimple's old school and he only responds to emails.
Yeah, well, Gimple. I mean, what's his name? They're on the phone, so.
Oh, Andy has a smartphone.
Oh, I thought he had a
Now
flip
he
phone.
does.
Yeah,
Now.
now he does.
What,
He's had one for a
what
little
does he
while.
have?
I don't know. He has a smartphone.
On 12.
He probably has the
I
first iPhone.
I want them to go back. I want this season for them to go back, slap themselves, come back next year, say 712 was not canon, and redo this. I mean 8, season 8, sorry. Just
What
712.
the,
I don't know why I'm just
you're just
season
stuck
8
on it.
doesn't season 8 doesn't exist, nor 712, to be honest. It don't have to exist to. It probably shit ain't even canon.
Actually, they
It's
need to
7
go back to the distance. I think that's like the last episode I really enjoyed.
What was the
Yeah,
distance about? What was that one about?
that was the one where they were rolling up to ASC and it ended with Michonne like putting her hand on Rick on the wheel and then Rick
Oh,
picking
okay.
up Judith and they walk into the gates of the ASC. Yeah, I think they should cut out the Grady arc or fix it or something and then go back to the distance and then just redo
Fix the Grady
everything
arc.
since then.
The Grady arc is when Beth went to the hospital.
Yeah, that's when she went and got her head blasted right
And
off.
Dawn
But
wasn't a bad antagonist. I think they could have did more with her. They've written her better. Maybe
Yeah.
Dawn.
because I'm
I
trying to
don't
figure
remember
out
anything from Grady Art.
how did Beth get there? Because that's the stuff I be talking about with The Walking Dead. You just watch it, you be like, well, how did somebody get here? And then they tell you, but it be so fast and so small, and you don't really realize it. They'll be like, yeah, she got here like Beth was just there. They had cooked food. I'm like, bitch, why you trying to leave? Firstly, when I saw the food, I was like, where are you trying to go? This looks like the life. They could be crazy as all get out, but the world is even worse. Just stay in that hospital, dummy.
It had like the rapist
Nah, it
cops
was.
and shit. And you constantly
Oh,
accumulated debt. It was like an indentured servitude thing that perpetuates itself because everything you take from them, quote unquote, just to live accumulates your debt. It's basically like capitalism
Yeah.
without any, like, it's basically impossible to pay them for what you owe. It's
The the worst
almost zombie apocalypse medical care.
the worst thing about that arc is that it made them do consumed for some reason. And
Yeah.
consumed took me out. Like I stopped watching Walking Dead for like 2 years after trying to watch consumed. So yeah.
I think they could have made Grady be an interesting arc or something, but honestly, by killing Beth when they did, they rendered the entire thing pointless. Utterly
They got
pointless.
Carol, remember?
Yeah, but that was like
yeah. How did they
she
get all these people?
Oh yeah, because she was only there because they went in the city looking for Beth. So yeah, you're
yeah,
right. Yes.
yeah,
Wait, I don't even remember that. I just remember like watching. I never knew anything. I didn't even know what was wrong with the people. I was just like, why y'all tripping? I can't.
yeah, it was just like indentured servitude. You're constantly in debt, so you can't go back to go find your family or whatever. And then
But when they had hot consumed,
the doctor was trying to the doctor would like sometimes kill people. Like there
oh
was
yeah, he
another
was throwing
there
them
was a
down the shaft.
they and then I think some of the cops would like injure people and then bring them back to the hospital so they'd have more little workers. And the doctor, whenever they brought in another doctor, would kill the doctor so that because he didn't want to be considered useless or something, he didn't want to be replaced.
You don't
I
replace
guess
doctors. That's stupid. That's the stupidest term. That's another thing in The Walking Dead. Who said that being a doctor makes you like gold? Like being a mechanic, a doctor, anything with a technical trade or something. It's like why would we kill the doctor? Like except if you're Dwight or Negan or some stupid person who threw the damn doctor in the furnace to die. Like unless you're one of those morons. But who
Yeah,
kills doctors?
I don't know why there would be a one doctor policy in the hospital. So so I don't know if like the actual doctor that was still alive was that a legit fear of his? Like was Dawn just an idiot who thought she would only need one doctor? Or I mean he's still
One doctor.
vicious just for straight up killing people, but like why would
Yeah,
what?
but then you had all types of doctors. You have a neurosurgery, like you have all
Yeah.
type of doctors.
Like
Doctors
the,
get no love in this show.
they're just like, oh, all doctors are the same.
and what happened to all the techs? Like even people who not doctors, you got the ultrasound tech or X-ray tech. They know
They get
something
killed
and they
because
just
they get
go.
killed. Because obviously
and
they don't realize that there's more
and then
than one person.
there was the two Dr. Carsons, but like the Dr. Carson that's currently alive is a baby doctor, and I don't know what the other Dr. Carson was, but whatever he was, it doesn't matter anymore because he's fucking dead. But now the baby doctor is having to be like a general practitioner. He's like, you know what? Well, maybe I went to medical school like everyone else, but you know what I've been doing for the last 10, 20 years of my life is working with pregnant ladies. So I'm not like super up to date on my general
Like
practitioner things.
Denise was a psychiatrist. Yes, she went to medical school, but she was a psychiatrist, and they never actually utilized that. Like
Yeah.
seriously, put Rick on season his A. Rick needed to see a psychiatrist. Like seriously.
I know they had a psychiatrist on this show about people going through the zombie apocalypse, all having all kinds of issues, and they wasted the opportunity.
What the hell happened to the dentist? Like we just talked about. Like there are more than one type of doctor. Yeah, you a baby doctor, but you got this nigga doing neosurgery like on people.
Yeah, and like
You supposed to,
I
not a
work at
neosurgeon.
I work at a dental office, and like even with dentists, and all they just focus on the mouth, but there are certain dentists that can't do certain procedures, and you need like a special dentist for
Yeah,
those
like I have,
procedures,
like
even
a
if something.
dentist don't do a root canal, they get another dentist to do a root canal. They're not
Yeah.
some dentists don't do implants, or some dentists don't do like
don't do
IV
braces.
sedation. Yeah, there's orthodontists like, and then that's just with like dentists are specific to the mouth and teeth and shit. Like a doctor who has to focus on the entire human body, like there's different specializations.
Like you got an
Look,
arthritis.
you don't want to
doctor,
put podiatrists working on your heart. I mean, they all they know about is feet. So why would you want them working on your heart?
You might as
Just
well
cut
get
me
your nail
open.
technician, the lady who do your nails, to do your open heart surgery. You be like, you made it past the zombie apocalypse. My heart hurts. It's so silly. Like the podiatrist do your heart surgery, but obviously a doctor in the ZA is just a doctor. Like he knows everything. He's just one. He's just one trade. It's just he knows it all. You be like, doctor, my heart hurts. Well, I'm not a heart doctor.
Every doctor is like Eugene. They know everything. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The fuck was Eugene? Eugene wasn't a doctor, was he? I thought he was a
No,
scientist.
he wasn't. No. I don't know what he was in the show. I don't think they ever established.
I told you, nobody knows what the fuck he is.
He might have. It's been he revealed it in like season 5A. Or if he did, that's when he revealed it. I know in the comics he was a high school teacher. He's a high school science teacher in the comics.
I feel like he's been looking for like underage girls. Sick of Eugene. But is he a doctor? So what the fuck is he? I thought he was a scientist, because that's why
he said he was a scientist. That was his lie.
Oh.
But he never specified what kind of scientist he was, because I guess everyone else is everyone else is just stupid and just accepts scientists. Like no actual scientists, when they're describing themselves, like what they actually do as a job, is going to be like,
more
I'm
like
just
a
scientist.
Like a mechanical engineer than like a bio or whatever kind of science.
You're gonna be like, I'm a biologist, or I'm a virologist, or I'm a geologist.
I'm gonna go ask Ziara what she is. She's gonna like specifically tell me what type of scientist she is. She'll be like, I'm a bio something chemist or something. Not Eugene, he's just a scientist. So that's just a broad.
So that's a lie right there.
This is too general.
Yeah, like being a doctor.
Like the only time you're gonna say like I'm a scientist is if you're speaking generally about something that they all have in common. But if you're talking about what your actual occupation is, you're gonna give your actual occupation.
Like I'm a biochemist or bioengineer, whatever the little fast term for it is, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm a scientist." I'm gonna just say that I'm a NASA scientist, person that works on rockets.
Even engineers would tell you more specific what kind of engineer they are.
I'm an engineer. Like, wow, that tells me nothing.
Yeah, right. It doesn't. You could be a mechanical engineer. You could be any type of engineer.
You can be an engineer that works on bridges. You could be a software engineer. Like, it's wildly different.
The engineer part is just saying like, it's just the general term, and like it's just general, like general studies. Like you do general studies, math, science, all that great stuff. Yeah. I'm an engineer. Oh, what kind? A medical engineer? Is that even one? Is that even anything? Can you be that?
Probably.
Just the engineer. Let's just put the engineer in it. I'm watching this show and I felt like I've not seen anything. Like I don't get anything in this show. Oh, maybe we should do a podcast, since everybody's quitting The Walking Dead after today.
I haven't watched The Punisher yet, so. Is this your first time trying to watch it?
Well, not really successfully. I've been trying to watch it. Like, I've watched bits and pieces. There's this woman that walks around with an attitude, but basically, if you've seen Luke Cage, you just seen The Punisher. The girl is basically Misty Knight, like the girl that's just walking around who's a detective. And then Karen is on the show, ironically. She ain't on Luke Cage. Or I've never seen her on. I never paid attention. And it's just like, well, this is just Luke Cage with white people. Well, but black people in Luke Cage don't have to, like, survive off the basis of white folks.
Yeah, Cottonmouth didn't die because of it. Oh, golly, what
Oh
is
yeah, Cottonmouth. I
Carl.
forgot about that.
Carl on
that
The
just
Walking Dead died on the basis of white people.
He did. He did die on the
Like, he
basis of white
died so
people.
that Negan could live, so that Rick could learn a lesson about
How is
Negan
Rick
having
learning a
to
lesson?
live. I don't know.
But wasn't it
That's
funny that
why he died,
but
according
Negan
to
always threatened to
Gimple.
kill? But Negan always had threatened to kill Carl anyway, so it was kind of pointless. Like no lesson was learned.
What do you guys
You
think is
don't,
the reason why the Spoiling Dead fans didn't drop the Q&A?
because they never knew. They never fucking knew. They never knew. That's what I kept saying. I was like, they never knew.
Now that
that
Chandler
it,
doesn't now that Chandler is outed as not knowing about his death until a month, I don't know. Now I don't know. I thought it was because they were doing it out of respect of him. But
And
now I'm not sure.
they could still be doing that because it would be one of his last episodes, and maybe he wanted to have everyone's genuine reaction to what happens unspoiled. So maybe it could still be because Chandler asked them to,
Yeah.
but
But I
Yeah,
also
I don't
think
know.
that
Chandler's not that
it was
nice.
still out. It was still out that he was gonna die. Like,
Yeah, but we just didn't get the play by play. Like,
yeah.
we knew we didn't know he was gonna die. We didn't know when exactly or
Yeah.
how, and we didn't know, exactly what Carl was going to be doing. So
Mm-hmm.
so maybe that's why, or maybe AMC told them on the low, hey, if we don't get ratings for this episode, the show that you like to spoil is gonna get canceled. So maybe don't spoil the mid-season finale, and maybe that's why they did
No,
it. I don't know.
The spoiling did never had real information on it. So because when we kept like when everything when okay, I know you say spoiler stuff never be confirmed or unconfirmed, but I noticed like with this year and last year like even though it would be wrong, it would still be somewhere on the line. Like, okay, I could see where they could got that wrong, but it was still somewhere there. We just
Mm-hmm.
was dead wrong this year. Dead wrong. We just dead wrong. They had sightings of Bob. You like, well, Bob was there. Why was Bob there? We just saw sightings of people. It was just Heath was a walker. I was like, that's racist because y'all just saw a black guy as a walker and thought it was
They
Heath.
had that last year too. They were thinking that they were seeing, there was people spotting, and they thought they saw Steven on set and he wasn't. So
They're
that's not unusual, and
racist because they saw an Asian person on there.
that's not the spoilers that everyone counts as reliable. The filming spoilers, like spotting, that's always spotty. The spoilers that are considered reliable are going to be the stuff that comes out the week before the episode airs. So that's going to be like the
Then
summary and the Q&A, because that's when they've worked all their sources and they have
they
reliable
said
stuff.
Carl was stabbed. Carl wasn't even stabbed. This dude was good and alive. We've been wrong. It's been wrong. I'm sorry.
That's also not the reliable spoilers. That's stuff that's coming out during filming while they're still putting everything together.
I
That's not
just
the reliable stuff. When it's
I just genuinely
if it's not a week before, if it's not the shit that's coming out a week before, then it's probably gonna be some weird other shit.
but
It's just like
remember 712. 712. We were pretty good. Like we had months in advance information about that and they were
the,
pretty much spotted. They were like on point. I can take away from the naked thing because that wasn't a guarantee because it's AMC, so I'm cool with that. But when it came down to the food, they were right. When it came down to the van, they were right. It was kind of like, okay, that was months in advance. We had 712. But this year it was just like Heath was around there, Terry was around there, Beth was around there. Oh yeah, we got an update. Matter of fact, they had one that was a spoiler and it wasn't even true. It was something with Jadis. Doc talked about it too, and it was like we didn't see that on the episode, and it was in the spoiler. And I was like, I didn't see that neither, or I didn't. She talked about it, and I was like, okay, so they've been a little bit off. But
it
I
might have
wonder
been. It could be because a lot of their sources probably ditched after season 7.
or my thing is the sources probably been getting bad information and they've been trying to weave out the people that's been giving it because it's easy to tell somebody and know it's bad information and it get back to you and you be like, well, I told such and such that
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't
Mm.
true. So it'd be easy to spot out the spoiler people. So they were probably trying to not do that. And
Mm-hmm.
B, if they had been wrong, they would have gotten busted. They would have been like, we fucking knew who we told that to. So not saying anything made it better. Cause I'm like 2000. I mean, I get what you're saying about when it got closer to the date, it was spoiler, but we was getting stuff so much in advance, and it was pretty much on spot in in the seventh season. 2008 season, it's been quiet. Like it was quiet. Stuff was wrong when we got it. It was coming out
Yeah.
like 2 days before we were getting it, and it was still wrong. And it was like, okay, well.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Walking Dead zone, the one that told us Enid got raped, that was so fucked up. They had disappeared. It was like, well, we're not gonna do anything this season, and it was just kind of like, did they say that because of Daryl Carroll, or just because the information source was like gone? So I just think the spoiling dead didn't know what they were doing this year. I mean, it's cool. I mean, you're not gonna always have the information. It is what it is.
Mm.
That could be
Having
it.
having drones flying around, that's too much. I think that's way
Yeah.
too much. You're not even getting paid for this.
Mm.
Drones. Who buys a drone?
Well, I feel like overall enthusiasm for the show has gone down, so it's expected that, you know, um,
Even
spoilers are
this
kind of being a little,
this
yeah,
yeah, the
they're gonna be
spoiler
spicy.
for people who aren't actually on the show is probably going to go down
Mm-hmm.
because there aren't as many fans that are going to be interested
Yeah,
They never
even
in
like.
going out and getting them.
there's a
They
shift
never.
even with, oh, sorry. Did you
They're
say
gonna
something?
have to clean house with The Walking Dead if they want any survival of getting any of the viewers back they had like a few years ago. Cause think about
Mm-hmm.
it like this: 701 had 17 or 20 million views. It was a high ass number. You lost
17
about half.
million.
You lost about 6, 7 of that the next day, like the next week. You never got that back,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what Gimple. What I'm trying to see with Gimple is like, you stupid. So you
It
want.
was a 25 or 28% drop, so it wasn't
Ooh,
7 million.
that's kind of still a lot.
It was the biggest drop that a season premiere to a second episode has ever had, but it wasn't 7 million.
But the
They've
problem is,
lost 10 million since that episode.
ooh, damn, that's like everybody just decided to stop watching.
Pretty much. And even at like cons, you can tell, you can feel the shift from last year where it was primarily Walking Dead to switching over to things like Stranger Things to like more things like horror related.
Oh God.
Um,
Well, that's the thing. Gimple sacrificed just to hit a pinnacle one time. That's the problem. He keeps doing this, and it's like
yeah.
you're not recuperating those numbers. You got 17 millions that one time. Okay, great.
Hmm.
You lost. So I'm gonna say you said 28%. So I'm gonna put that roughly around 10, 1. I'm gonna say about 12, 13. So you got down to 13, 14, somewhere around there. Okay, then you lost that at the mid-season finale. You let's say you those 2 million leave. You're not gaining any more people. You're losing more. So you think this mid-season finale of this is gonna help you? Boy, get your
Yeah.
life together. You asking to be fired. You're like, hey, I
Yeah.
want to be fired.
Maybe he does want to be fired. I'm like, why would you kill your show this much?
Like,
And you know, with Carl being dead, if they adapt his comic material, then someone's gonna have to get it.
Hmm.
It's not going to Rick, so maybe it goes to Daryl. So maybe this is all because of Daryl once again.
let's
um,
just blame Daryl.
Yeah.
Kirkman's what's it called? Kirkman's deal with Amazon. Do you think that
Mm-hmm.
had anything to do with Chandler
It
dying?
po-
Well, that's for Carl dying.
I mean, possibly. I don't know. I know. I think it's pretty clear that Kirkman's got to have some kind of issue with AMC if he's not sticking with
Mm-hmm.
them when they
For his
already
next
have his
project.
property.
Mm-hmm.
It maybe Carl getting killed off has something to do with it. It
I think he's
seems
trying to
likely.
kill off like that's what I was saying in the bunker. I'm paranoid that because they're just gonna kill off like more and more original characters from the comics to make room for like non-comic
Characters, yeah.
characters.
Like yeah, like Daryl and Tara. A
Yeah.
lot of the other characters that have been getting some shine are still technically comic characters, like
Mm-hmm.
Carol and Morgan. They've just been kind of uplifted
But
from
they
their comic
died though.
counterpoint. Yeah, and they died, and they've just been so uplifted from their comic counterparts that it's almost hard to recognize them
Mm-hmm.
as their comic
Yeah, that's true.
versions.
That's true. Because they're better written. They're very
Hmm.
better written than what their comics was.
Yeah. Once upon a time, I would say Michonne was better written than her comic counterpart, but now I'm like, man,
It still is.
um,
Her counterpart is too damaged, and her and Rick in the
her
comics. I
her
hope they never
comic
get together.
counterpart actually has a fucking plot. No, see, look, comic Michonne and Rick are gonna get together. It's gonna be messy, but it's gonna happen.
Man,
It
that's a
just should
destructive
happen.
couple.
It should happen soon, so I can stop feeling crazy about it. It's just gonna happen at some point. It's just written on everything, on every wall. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
It's like just do it. Just like pull the trigger. Pull the trigger, Piglet. Piglet.
That's a dysfunctional couple there.
They're not entirely dysfunctional. It's just not. It's gonna be messy one way or another. It's just not necessarily gonna be like, I don't know. It's not gonna be like they're screaming at each other 24/7. There a lot of the reason I think it's gonna happen is because Michonne's get her life together arc has a lot with like there was a lot of happiness emphasized with it, and then Andrew's like dying words to Carl are like blah blah blah, just be with people to make you happy or whatever. And then Kirkman in a letter hack mentions Michonne like, oh, Michonne's got lots of love, she's gonna be happy, blah blah. She's got her friendship with Rick, happiness, like just a bunch of shit about Michonne finding happiness, and then all of this Michonne-ness coming out of the comics. Like it'll probably be messy because that's the only way I can see Kirkman keeping interest in it, but it might not necessarily be the world's most dysfunctional thing that the comics have ever seen. Because the comics still had Lori and Rick in it, and they were really dysfunctional.
Andrea and Carl, TV Carl, I knew the connection was coming. When I first heard they killed him, I was like, oh fuck, one of them characters off the TV were gonna die. I didn't know it was gonna be Carl, but I knew it was one. But then it made a lot of sense on why they were dying. It just, I don't know, just something weird about Andrea dying and Carl, TV Carl dying. It's like, I felt like killing Andrea out of the comics was like fuck you Gimple, and then Gimple turned around and killed Carl to say fuck you Kurtman. It was like basically fuck you both. Like they were like, oh, so you gonna kill my character, I'm gonna kill one of yours. And it's like even though they had been killed Andrea off a long time ago, but it's just like one of those things that I think
Kirkman didn't kill Andrea. That was Glenn Mazzara who had the issue.
Oh yeah, no, I know what's his name. That was Glenn. Glenn killed Andrea, but I felt like Kirkman never kind of forgave them for that. So he was like, okay, fuck y'all, I'm gonna kill her now. That like there's really no use for her on the show, and it was like because the material would go to different people, and then they killed her off, and it's like, okay, so where the material go now? And it's like, oh well, I'll do one better. I'll kill Carl, so no material for like. It's just weird. It was like a feed. It's like they were feeding off each other, and it's
yeah, like, I just don't think Gimple killed Andrea to get at Kirkman because Gimple didn't do that. It was Glenn Mazzara.
Glenn, not Gimple, but like Kirkman. I felt like, but Gimple was there during that time too, so we can't even say that
Gimple didn't want to kill Andrea. He rewrote her death scene so she'd get a better send off. Like Gimple and Lori Holden got along, so I don't think Gimple wanted to kill Andrea.
Glenn did it. He was like, "Fuck you, bitch." He basically was like that for that whole thing. He was like, "Bitch, fuck you." because she was getting all too big in her head. He was like, I'm about to humble you real soon. After I lose my job, you losing yours too. I'm gonna write this.
Yeah, I think that was all. Like, I think there might be beef between Kirkman and Gimple, but I don't. I mean, maybe or maybe it's just Kirkman and AMC, but I don't think it goes as far as like Gimple all the way back in season 3 when he wasn't showrunner over Andrea, who was a character that they both liked.
Because I think they kind of preempted Kirkman of killing Andrea. Like, he was going to kill her, but they killed her off faster than what he was anticipating for it to happen. So it kind of changed his comic book. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like they had struck before he could. He was like, well, damn, before I could even kill her off, I have, like, he needed her more for his story opposed to, like, how the Walking Dead on the TV show is, because they like to say they don't want to stay like, they don't want to follow the comic, but you still follow a comic. At the end of the day, you still follow a comic.
They don't say that though. Not since Gimple took over. They've said that they want to follow the comics more closely. The show has said that. Kirkman says he has stated that he doesn't want the show and the comics to be too much of the same.
Obviously they are, because ironically you gave Carl the death of Andrea, and that's brand new. Her death is 2017. Carl's death is 2017. Isn't it ironic? And you're not following the comics.
That's not ironic. That's not what ironic means, but yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
So Andrea died in 2017. So when did they film
that would have been
She died
July.
She died before the season started, right?
She died in 167. 174 just came out, so that would be 7 comics ago. So I think she died like May, June in the comics.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's kind of like, I mean,
she
follows the timeline.
Well, yeah, it's just they would have written the show back in spring though, so they would have had all the scripts done by then. So they would have had all the scripts done before Andrea died. But Kirkman does tell them what's going to happen in the future, so he might have told them, "Hey, Andrea's going to die in this way." He said he's not going to tell them his ending for the comics, in case the show gets to end before the comics. He doesn't want his own book spoiled, but he might give them like the immediate events that are coming up so that they can plan what's going to happen on the show.
I doubt they give Gimple's word a grain of salt.
If they were planning on killing Carl, why didn't they tell Chandler in the spring as opposed to when they were actually filming?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you have to get word from AMC if you kill a major character like that. Deaths like that has to go through execs. It has to. It has to get approved. That's one thing. Second thing, the emotional effect of the actor when you film them, you can get that too. Like, that's why they killed the character off like the day. They will write. You can get a script and they can change it because the writers, like I said, is on set. Like, the writer themselves are on set. So they change the script while you're reading it. So it happened to Beth. I think it happened to T-Dog. Beth, I know it happened to her. When she was coming in, she got killed in rehearsals just like Carl did. That's why, and when they shot her in the head, they was like, those were real tears. Like, Norman Reedus was really upset when they killed Beth. Like, they were like, oh my fucking God, Emily, I think that's her real name. But Emily, I saw something about that. They were like in tears. So another thing, that's why they don't tell the death soon too, and disgruntled employees. They'll be like, yeah, they killed me. Fuck this show. That's what they did on Sleepy Hollow, Orlando. Orlando did that. He was mad as fuck. He was like, yeah, they killed me. This show ain't shit. He ain't even died yet. He was like, they killed me. Fuck this show. Fuck that bitch, too, that plays Abby's sister. That was a messy show, though. Damn, this nigga has stitches in his head. Nah, but it was like that.
Yeah.
He had a whole Twitter.
Yeah, they had a lot of behind-the-scenes drama on that show.
He had a Twitter saying they killed me off. The show ain't what it seems, or there's too many problems. He said something on Twitter. I saw it. He was like, "Show got too many problems," or yeah, they killed me off, but I'm still here, and it was crazy. And it was like he said he was killing him.
Yeah.
They were gonna kill him like weeks before he got killed, or before they showed it. That's another reason too. And they probably didn't even like. They also probably just didn't want that, getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Carl.
Yeah,
I
I
knew
feel
it.
really bad for him.
I already knew
Mm-hmm.
it. I was like, no, he wanted to go off and be. I was like, the dude just was going to school in Auburn, and he moves to LA. Nobody does that. I don't care how impulsive a kid is. You ain't that impulsive. You're like, Mom, I want to be a rapper now. Okay, Jenny. Don't worry about that job that makes you millions of dollars. Okay. Like, nobody does that. I'm sorry. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, we could do things like that. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but that's like in the 1%. Yeah, they killed Carl like there was no tomorrow. And it was sad. They killed him like super recently, 806. When did they film that? September? No, not that. Like July, August. August. It was like, well, that poor thing. Chandler. Oh,
Yeah.
Cat is gonna be okay. Gimple's probably getting fired soon anyway. I don't know.
Probably. I think
But
he'll probably get scapegoated for whatever was AMC's contribution to this mess.
uh-huh.
Is like the only way I can see the show turning itself around is if they get a new showrunner. So they'll just fire Gimple, get someone else new, and hope everyone tunes back in to see if the show can be good again.
He's got too much
They
on
would
his
have to.
hands because he's
They
doing
have to
Fear too.
purge. They would have to purge. They would have to get rid of his writing crew. They'd have to get everything that says Gimple. It'd be like
They have
Bob
to get
Gimple
rid of
forever.
Greg from directing all those episodes, please.
Well,
He's so
Greg
silly.
doesn't necessarily have all the doesn't necessarily have all the heat on him because I know we all hate him, but I don't know that like the GA and everyone would really care that much if they get
Greg
rid
is
of a
cool.
director.
Greg is cool. I don't mind his stuff. It's just he should really stick to makeup. Nah, it's like he cool dude though. Like, but there's just sometimes when you just realize it ain't meant for you. So you should just stick to what you know. Mm. It's just like I don't know. Well, Gimple's getting a lot of the heat because you just
Yeah, I mean he's the showrunner, so it comes back to him.
the
Some
prob
stuff might not precisely be his fault,
It
but
the
might be
problem
AMC and
he
him
gets he
AMC,
combined.
gets
y'all don't think
last
who you
call.
think approved that death? You gotta realize major death characters goes through the executive. Like they approve if this person should die or not. You'd be like, no or yes. That's how Carol got herself saved. I mean, yeah, SM Sarah did call out, but execs are still the people that can say ask them or not. Like we tend to not realize that, but if the dude Bob, who's like the person that's the suit, and he's like over AMC, and he'd be like, "Yo, sure, keep him." My teacher has happened that to her so many times. Like an executive doesn't like her, so they don't let her on the show. Like they won't make. Like she was going up for what show was that? How Army Wives on Army Wives, and
On
they
Lifetime.
kept like yeah, and then she would get like she would send her audition tapes, and the executive people was like, nah, I don't think she fits this part. That happens. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading the Forbes review, and it says The Walking Dead doesn't deserve careful recaps or deep analysis anymore. Its producers and
Oh.
its producers and writers are either lazy or their hats or some horrible combination of the two. Wherever the case, this episode was embarrassing to watch. I can only imagine how embarrassing it must be to have written, produced, and directed or acted in it.
Oh, that's
Oh
fucked
Oh my
up.
god!
Oh, that's fucked up. That's messed up. That's it. He just called out
Wow.
everybody on that show. He said Michelle denied Andy, LC, y'all all suck. He just said that. That's what he basically said that Forbes review. He's like, y'all all
Wow.
suck. He said, that's disrespectful. Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
Wow.
It was
Eric
Forbes. They hate
Kane.
everything.
Yeah.
He just said y'all acting was trash. Terrible, yo.
No, he just said that it was embarrassing to
Yeah, he
have
said,
to
and
be
you acted
associated
it,
with it.
and
He
you
said
acted
he
in it.
said no, he said that the writers were hacks and that it must be embarrassing for everybody else. So he doesn't necessarily say that the acting was bad, just
Yeah.
that like having to act out that writing must be embarrassing.
That means it's bad. That means you didn't do good enough for it to actually get to us. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
No, even
But
the
you
best
can only
acting
do so
can't
much.
save shit writing. It just can't.
Even Chandler
Like,
said that. I think he said like
yeah,
you
What?
he
can't
did.
fix
Like
Chandler said
Andy,
what?
Andy
bad
can
writing.
act his pants off, but if Rick's arc doesn't make any sense, it's not gonna matter.
If Andy was on a well-written show, he'll be just like what's his name, Bryan Cranston, year after year
Oh my,
having an
yeah.
Emmy or a Golden Globe. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
seriously, he's that good of an actor, but people won't think so because the writing is horrible. So
Yep, writing's
Mm-hmm.
trash, but if you're a good actor, you can turn that shit to something. I mean, not saying they're not good
No,
actors,
no, see, if that were true, then The Walking Dead would be a good show because it has good actors. But the
but
writing still doesn't make any damn sense. It doesn't matter how good of an actor Denai is, you're not going to convince me that Michonne's not being a fucking moron.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I would love
that's
to
what
see.
she's doing. She's,
I would love to see
Denai's
her
playing a
reaction to that.
really convincing and emotionally deep moron, but that's what's happening.
he said they acted in it. That's disrespectful either way it goes. He's
I
like, that
really
show
want to
suck,
know what
actors
she
suck,
thinks
everything
about
suck.
Michonne's decision to let Daryl do that. Like
She
her real
did
thoughts.
her real thoughts, not the thoughts that she gave to like make
So
it sound better.
obviously the
Like
same.
I read that and I was like, sorry, Denai, I reject this.
Well, it's when is yeah, you can't ever really judge a character. Like we talk about this in my class. Like we talk about that. Like it's fucked up as you think. Like when you be like, this is stupid. But if you do that, you start making dumb decisions for your characters, and that can
Mm-hmm.
end up like hindering your acting. That's why
Yeah.
Andy said he doesn't watch the show. I can understand why he doesn't watch it because
Mm-hmm.
he could look at Rick and be like, that's stupid. Why would I ever do that? And it kind of takes him away from Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta
So
trust your character.
yeah, I mean, we
Yeah,
as much as we fuss over in JDM, I'm okay. Yeah, Negan isn't the greatest, but you wouldn't have done a character if you thought he was that stupid. Like you wouldn't have auditioned for him. So it
Mm-hmm.
makes no sense to be like, this is the worst character I ever auditioned for. It's like, well, that's stupid. Why'd you audition for him then? Oh, my agent said that, or I get dropped from my agency. Okay, understandable.
well, he could have auditioned for, say, comic Negan and then have been given TV Negan, and that would be why.
I think it's too hard to portray a character like Negan is a comic
Mm-hmm.
because he's not like the Joker. He's not a well-known comic character like where you can actually you know how we say Ogie has this like we say Ogie would have been a better Negan than JDM because I think Ogie is naturally a jackass of a person like in real life. Like that's who he is. Like he kind of looks like you ever played Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah.
That's pretty much Negan. Or how Negan should be. Like, except tone down Trevor. Like, tone down Trevor a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
clean him up a bit, and you got yourself a Negan. JDM is too nice for the part. Like, you can clearly see he's a nice guy, so this doesn't really fit him. Ogie just seems like I'm a jackass playing this part, not if I'm not doing it. That's why Xander plays Gregory too good, because he's a creep in real life. Like he's a creep in real life. You be like, wow, that Gregory, he should win an Oscar or Emmy for that. You'd be like, he should, shouldn't he? Hitting 16-year-old DMs. I bet you would. I just feel like Ogie would have been a Negan better because it's like that's who he is. He kind of could. He's naturally a Negan, and JDM isn't naturally a Negan. If that makes sense.
It's
You know
because
what
he
my
has to try too hard to be a cartoon.
you know who my fan
Yeah.
cast of Negan is?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Angela Bassett. I want Angela Baskins to be Negan so badly. I think she would really kill it.
She might be a better alpha, psychopathic killer. I seen her waiting to exhale. Hope she burns some man car up.
You know, she would have been great to be over Oceanside. I don't think Rick could have took the guns if she was in charge.
Hell no, she would have shot Rick. Most of the time, I don't see why the ASC group Devin got shot up yet anyway. I just don't understand why you let them walk up to you. Nobody can be trusted. I've been blasted at Rick and his group. I'd be like, I don't know that white man or that black lady.
Rick was gonna shoot that dude in the premiere. He shoots first and never asks questions. So I'm with you. I'm surprised nobody has just shot at them.
Yeah, I just feel like that's unrealistic. I'd be like, blast that white man and that black woman. I don't know who the fuck they is, but they not coming here and kill them. They not getting in this place. Like, kill that little
Technically, they had
girl.
Technically, they had to sneak up on Oceanside because Tara said that they had a shoot-on-sight policy.
And you'd be like, and kill that girl. Oh, that's not a girl. That's Daryl. But shoot him too. Like, that's not a woman.
I don't know why the GPK didn't just like fuck with him.
Yeah, because
like, oh, he just came there, offered himself up, and they're like, oh, we'll just throw him at this walker. And they didn't throw him into the gladiator bowl again. They're like, oh yeah, this guy killed our first walker in the gladiator bowl. Let's see if he can kill this walker again, now naked, tied up, and while we're all here around to get beat up.
GPK has so much fucking potential. It has so much potential to be something that Gimple could have done, but he's not gonna do it, so I don't even care to even go with this.
They could have shot Rick while he was holding Jadis's face down. Like, what's he gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
They've all got guns on him. Is he gonna Carol himself out of this? Like, it's over. Like, yeah, all my people are coming for you. They're not.
GPK could have had, like, with the Winslows, they could have had a story behind them, but there's nothing. Like, it's just a random dude with no shirt on in a fucking pit who got turned into a walker. It's like they could have came up with a backstory. This is why Game of Thrones actually has a great writing team, because you get to know what the dwarves and the weird ass people are about. You don't know anything about the JPK. They don't even have a real name. That's just how lazy they got. They didn't give this place a name. They're just random garbage people.
They did give him a name, but we only learned the name on The Talking Dead. They're called the Heapsters, but no one calls them that in the show. They've never been referred to by name. I don't know. You shouldn't have to learn that outside of the show, but just technically they do have a name. They just hasn't been mentioned on the show.
Like, we found out Michonne Job was a lawyer from her goddamn dresser. That's not even a canon person. It's like your dresser, the person who dressed you, the lady who gives your wig, told your backstory. Like, why am I hearing this from that? That's like saying the janitor who works at the Walking Dead knows Rick's favorite color is brown. Like, why would the janitor at the Walking Dead know that? Why am I learning that from him?
Yeah, they're scarce on the details, like, for real.
No, they're not scarce. They don't say shit.
Does Rick even know Michonne had a child and stuff like that? I mean,
no.
I bet you the person who pulls in...
We'll never know.
I bet you the person who pulls in Denia's car knows that she had a child and that Rick. Why does that person know? I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. Why do the people that don't even go on the show, who ain't even real, they know everything about the character, but us, we don't know shit. You'd be like, did you know Maggie was a stripper before she came? You'd be like, where'd you get that information from? Oh, Lauren Cohan's mother. You'd be like, how'd she know that? Why did I'm so mad with this show. Like, why do the ref... You'd be like, Glenn could juggle 12 bottles of milk before the ZA. Wait, how do you know that? The mailman. Steve Mailman told us. The
Oh my
fuck
god.
man don't tell us shit.
Oh yeah, they were scarce on Glenn's details too. I don't know. He was a delivery boy and he had sisters.
He's a delivery boy. His family lived in Michigan. Before that, Korea. He had parents and two sisters.
It'd be like,
And
oh, Lord. Negan used to work at Kroger's before he became a killer. He'd be like, how'd you find
Oh
that
no,
out?
oh no! Don't worry. We'll learn all of Negan's backstory. Don't you
Yeah,
worry.
via
he
during
might even
somebody
get a
else.
last name before Michonne do.
Uh-huh. It'd be
Probably
like,
will.
what's
No,
Michonne's
his
last
his
name?
name is
Scott.
Negan Hanna-Barbera. We figured it out.
But we be learning all the information from people that don't even be on the fucking show. That's what I'm like getting at. Like, how do we know these people's story? And then the fucking shit be canon. Like, what? Why? Why? I should not
And
be
then the
learning that.
actors have to fill out a lot of the gaps because Denai does that a lot.
Deny is
Like what?
nice because I'd be like, I don't know what I do. I don't even know what I did pre ZA, and I really don't even care anymore. I don't even know my last name. I don't have one.
And it's sad because she really wants to know. Like she really wants these like gaps to be filled. I remember
Yeah.
one time like with this inside the actor studio, and someone asked her what was Michonne's last name, and she was like threw daggers at was it Kirkman? Probably Kirkman. Because he doesn't fill out those things for her at all.
Well,
Black
she's a
women don't get a
story.
last name because we're never married, so that's why. RL.
Well, she's a storyteller, so those little details matter.
Matter, yeah.
They help her. They help her
Yeah, but
form
then
a character.
the problem is you don't remember the next time you ask her. You'd be like, yeah, so remember when you gave us what was Michelle's last name? Jones. Not that's not what you said on EA Access. I mean, I don't expect Denia to keep remembering this stuff because she had 1,000 things to do and like is Michonne is like I know that's like but the problem is I don't expect her to have to remember this. It'd be like, how many kids did you have before the ZA? Two. Girl, wrong. You only had Andre. Can you get your life together? Oh my gosh, I just poor thing. I mean, it does, but her like they don't give her enough fucking shit to do for me to even care about her last name anymore. Like it's Rick Grimes, Carl Grimes, rest in
It's
peace,
they're
Judy
probably gonna
Grimes.
do the Andrea thing. Maybe Rick and Michonne will die together, and her headstone will say Grimes on it or something. Be like, wow, that was great, cool.
It'd be Michonne Grimes, the lawyer.
Yeah, we'll learn all of her backstory in the
It's
bottle
gonna be
episode
like
after she dies.
It'd
it's
be
gonna be
like
two paragraphs on her headstone.
yeah, it's gonna be like
Summary.
it's gonna be a paragraph. You're gonna be reading it back and forth. You'd be like, it was survived by Carl Grimes. Sorry, just kidding. He didn't survive. Judith Grimes and Rick Grimes. Whoever's
Oh
actually
my
looking at this
gosh.
tombstone is tripping because you should be dead too.
It's gonna be Judith, cause Judith survives everybody.
Yeah, she's a baby. That's a dead baby. Like she's
Oh,
the
hope
baby that
oh,
kill everybody.
all her babysitters die, and Daryl was babysitting her again. So please, baby girl,
Let's put that in the air. Let's
kill
put
him.
that. Lord, don't fail me now. Let's put that in the air. Like we've been
Well,
trying
you
to
know,
kill off
Negan kind
Carl.
of babysit her last season.
Oh, baby girl, please work your magic.
Yeah, be
Kill
like,
everyone.
you got your mom killed and your dad killed. Go ahead, put Daryl in there too, and you got your brother killed. Why you got your whole family killed? Now that I think about it, you got Lori carried you dead. Well, Shane never met you, but if he did, you still die. He'd have died. Carl dead. Olivia dead. Denise dead. Tyra needs to be next dead. Carl dead. I mean, Daryl's dead.
Tyrese did.
Yeah.
Tyrese dead. The other little two blind white girls dead.
So
Carol,
that
I don't
means
even know how she
Carol
survived.
Carol's gonna die. Daryl's gonna die. Negan's gonna die. Rick and Michonne are gonna die.
Yeah.
Tara's gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody dies. Everybody dies.
Well, Brick and Michonne can't die until they have their second child to kill them. So they're immune. They're immune from Judith's bullshit. It's the second kid that's gonna get him killed. They be like, "Mommy and Daddy, I'm taking you out, Mother." All those Easter eggs with those birds. Damn, all the Easter eggs they lied to us about, and they killed Carl. Who can live like this?
Nah.
They fucking killed Carl. They took him out. That was a mafia hit.
that Walker was mafia.
Yep, lived the mafia.
Yep.
She sure did. That was a mafia hit. Nobody kills a character off like that unless you just paid to do it.
AMC was like, we could probably make some more money if we kill Carl.
Yeah, we can probably save a lot of money killing Carl.
We can't
kill a black chick. These are trying times.
They're like, what can we even sell? We're gonna sell his hat? No one's gonna buy his hat.
Plus, they just killed Sasha, so they like kill 2 black women in a row.
Yeah,
so.
They're gonna wait till next season.
Well, actually, Denies having Gimple's baby, so it doesn't even matter.
What?
No, she's having Andy's twins and NR's baby and also Gimple's baby.
Yeah, so she had to save herself, so she had to go ahead and get knocked up by Gimple, so she wouldn't get killed off this season.
She's got quadruplets.
Yeah, for all 3 different baby daddies.
Mm-hmm.
Who came up with this rumor? Oh, I know.
You know who.
Yeah, I know. I'm not even gonna put that rumor out there.
This is my first time hearing it. So.
Oh, well, you're lucky. You missed quite the tale.
Somebody said Deny was having a baby. And we was like, what?
That's even before that particular person mentioned. Like, some person on YouTube was saying that like Deny and Andy had like secret twins somewhere, but now all of a sudden she's pregnant.
The lies, man. The lies.
Where did she have that baby? Like under those apps? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know when she's supposed to have these secret twins.
Deny. Hope she never get a hold of this podcast. She's like, what the fuck? Gimple. He's not even my type.
Well, it's a pregnant woman every season.
I don't know.
So
maybe he is. What do we know about her type?
Her type is to keep a job.
She said that Norman has game, so maybe I question her type. There is an interview at a panel. She said these words. It is real.
Did he lace her drink before she said that?
I don't know. Maybe.
It was like, you gonna say NR got game? She's like, no, the hell I ain't. Here's a drink. Okay, I am kind of thirsty. Here, take this drink, girl. You know you're thirsty. No, I'm not. Here. That's crazy, though. She said that in what world? Like, was I alive? Like, when
it was live. There was a recording of it.
No, was I alive? Like,
you were born by this time?
Was I like?
It was a while ago. It wasn't recent.
Okay. Was this before season 6?
Probably. It was maybe around that time. It was before I was really in the fandom. It was before I was on the forum.
Okay, so all right, so then it was somewhere around there.
That's why it didn't tick my sirens.
He probably was like question mark, question mark, question mark. Like, bitch, what's wrong with you? Yeah, when he like sexually like harassed her. Technically, NR she has a sexual harassment case since we talking about that. Remember what was that the EW, the one where he like just tongued her down for no reason? I was like, wow. Wow. I just kind of felt embarrassed for her. And Michael Kudzu was looking like, what the hell? Who's like, somebody get this dude away from her or me, more or less. Can't take him serious.
He's just gross.
Yeah, he was. I would have I had to throw my whole self away after that. You just find me laying in the dumpster.
Maybe Michonne's lack of screen time has been denied, like pulling away, just like I got
It's
other
like,
things to do.
yeah, you would have had to like you would seeing me like putting gasoline in my mouth and lighting the fire, and I'd be like, "What's Lydia doing over there? Oh, she's burning herself up."
She's hanging out with Jadis in the GPP.
And yeah, I had to throw my whole self away. What is the point of that group, to be honest? Can somebody tell me what the heapsters are for?
Probably Jadis, whatever, becoming Alpha.
I don't see it. She doesn't even have the same characteristics, so try again.
Alpha barely has any characteristics, but she's super cool with rape. Jadis is super cool with treating Rick like a piece of meat. Her entire community is gonna get destroyed, and she'll have a reason to hate both Rick and Negan. So maybe, I don't know, it's possible. And
Yeah.
even if they are different, like the comic villains are usually a little bit different than their TV versions, anyways. So
Yeah, but
whatever.
the only reason why Alpha and Jadis just don't seem like the same people is because Alpha talks in real language, like she actually says real sentences.
Well, maybe they'll change it because like Comic Governor is a walking, talking pirate man piece of shit. And David Morrissey's governor is secretly a piece of shit, but he looks real charming.
Yeah, but okay, I would drop those panties for David Morrison type, but it's just like it's not like
So
I could still see comic kind of related to the TV one. I just don't see Jadis. Like it's just nothing about her that says she doesn't even do anything cool. Like Alpha is a
Alpha doesn't do anything cool either.
Yeah, but it just doesn't seem. That's not. It's like saying like I don't know.
The only thing Alpha does is die and like let her
Alpha
daughter
have
be
a
raped.
daughter named Linda.
Yeah, Lydia, and she lets her daughter be raped, and then she dies, and that's all that Alpha does.
Confirm. Edith mom is Jadis.
I can see them wanting to take Jadis and turn her into Alpha. I don't know if they will, but even with the weird talking stuff, like Eugene and Abe in the show, their manner of speech is just beyond what any real person would talk like. But if in reading the comics, they talk kind of more normal, and every once in a while, Abe might say something.
I never understood
kind of funny.
what Abe said. I just was like, "You're gonna die," and I still won't never know what you said.
Like, a lot of Michonne's dialogue was comic Abe's, because comic Abe just talks like a regular person, and every once in a while has some funny like catchphrase type thing. But TV Abe just spoke like that all the time, constantly.
He was
and
like,
TV Eugene always talks in the really confusing metaphors and stuff. Comic Eugene is a lot easier to understand.
Yeah, I don't understand Eugene. He'll die doing something I still won't ever remember talking to him about.
So sometimes the TV show hams up their characters more. So I could see Jadis being the TV version of Alpha and having the funny speech pattern, because maybe Gimple decides that people who live in trash or people who wear walker faces are the same. But I just think
Gimple's gonna try to pull a so okie dokie, be like, Alpha won't be in this series, but I took Jadis and made her like an ultimate villain. You'll be like, well, you could have just kept Jadis, but I didn't. But he's basically the same person, but I didn't. You'd be like, Gimple think he be getting so creative, but he don't. You be, dude, you didn't do nothing slick. You just like, you didn't do anything.
Like, well, if he was taking his own original character Jadis and then continuing to have Jadis and not Alpha, he would be doing his own original thing.
Yeah, but then, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about like that whole arc. That's a waste of life. It is, because you gotta realize she had Alpha and Beta and Popcorn and Toto and all these random people I just made up, but Beta isn't fake. He's real. And he liked her, and he didn't really condone rape, but he just did it because he liked her. And I'm just like, who likes Jadis? See, that's another thing. Who gonna fucking like Jadis?
I don't know.
Who's gonna be
But
beta to like Jada? See, that bitch ain't alpha right there. She ain't even likable.
I don't know. She's got a lot of followers that apparently have names. So one of them, but maybe there won't be a beta and it'll just be Jadis is in charge because Jadis is in charge instead of Alpha's only in charge because a big dude doesn't let anyone hurt her.
This man.
That's why Alpha wasn't shit as a villain.
He's like she was shit because she didn't really.
She wasn't like even like Negan like
She
was
wasn't
like
threatening. Like
the
Gare.
only basically said the only reason she was in charge is because Beta, this big hunking guy, would beat up any guy that tried to oppose her. But basically,
Nobody not gonna save Jada.
If Beta hadn't supported her, then there wouldn't be anyone. So they can take Jadis and make her a version of Alpha that doesn't have a Beta. Like
Lame.
she's not gonna be she wouldn't be a carbon copy in this case,
Then you
which is
gotta do
actually
the
more interesting
whispers.
because Alpha, like a leader that has to have Beta in order to be a leader, like comic Alpha was fucking lame as shit. So if they take Jadis and they don't give her those aspects of comic Alpha, then she'd be a better villain, frankly.
Lame, cause I just need for some you gotta have the whisperers, which basically the people that be moving the zombie things, be wearing their faces. But The Walking Dead actually back in Clear with Morgan, they talked about that, and that's why I always thought that Morgan ran into him because he said people with dead faces, like dead people faces on them, and the whispers were the ones that did that, and they never went back to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Jadis will run into them. I don't know how to fucking say her name and kill Alpha and then take over the Whispers. Maybe that's how it's gonna work. I don't know.
Maybe the fear people can run into Whispers. I don't know.
Maybe they will. But yeah, if they do make Jadis Alpha and they don't follow the comics for that, I wouldn't say that's a bad decision because Alpha in the comics was fucking lame as shit.
She just let people get raped. That made her more like, and that just made her.
It was basically made her like Dawn. It was like, except Dawn actually had more interesting things besides that. Alpha was so boring.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what Gimple.
It was horrible. It was boring.
Making her, because she was kind of lame. I just thought about it. I was like, well. You could skip Alpha's arc, and you would pretty much you wouldn't miss anything.
You can take the idea of the Whisperers and put a different leader in charge, and it would be better. It might not be good, but it would be better because Alpha didn't set a very high bar.
Well, you saw who created her. No offense, Kirkman, but some of your characters were very hit and miss. Some of your characters were very hit and miss. It was just like you can really like that character. You'd be like, "Fuck this character. I don't care if they die next issue."
Alpha was like, whatever.
She had a daughter that was wilding out with Carl. Carl was. That time jump though, Carl was like 10, and then the time jump he was 16. It was only a 3-year time jump. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, Rick was 10 years older, and Herschel still can't walk.
And then when you question Kirkman on that time jump, he don't know what to say. He just be shut up.
Like, don't. The things that I do and that I say aren't canon and stuff. And
he tried to explain it, and people was like, "What?"
Like it doesn't make any damn sense. Like you can even take Rick's age out of it, and like there's no way Carl can be that old if Herschel is only this old.
yeah, because Herschel was still like he a toddler now. He can walk, right? Mm-hmm. I can't remember.
He can't walk.
He still can't walk.
I haven't seen him walk.
Maybe the kid has. I'm not trying to be mean. Maybe he touched.
He should still like physically be older. He's so tiny for like if Carl is 16 now, that would be huge time skip. That would be like 5-6 years.
I mean, maybe it's a malnutrition baby. Who knows? It's the ZA. I'm surprised it came out okay.
Like Carl can't be 16. He cannot.
Well,
not
they only
and
had
Herschel
to up the age because technically it was statutory rape. Because the girl was like 18, he was 13. And I was like, this is a sick ass comic. He was like, okay, time jump. He's 17.
Even if he was 13, he started the comics at 8, and then maybe like 2 years or something passed when we get to the end of All Out War. So he would be 10 then. So with a 3-year time jump where he's 13, then Herschel should be 3, which means he should definitely be walking and talking and not be a little baby.
But he's 17 now because he had to change the statutory.
I was talking about Herschel.
Yeah, but Herschel doesn't walk. Maybe he's touched baby or malnutrition. I mean, it's the ZA.
No, even if he's 3,
he shouldn't have any healthy babies.
He shouldn't be that small.
There should be no healthy babies walking around here. It's not like anybody eats on a daily.
Well, there aren't any babies walking around here because it takes them like 10 years to be born.
That's because they malnutrition. You can't feed no baby. You ain't got no prenatal vitamins. You might as well strangle the baby yourself.
Oh yeah, because they haven't showed Judith walking, and everybody knows she's walking.
Yep, that's a malnutrition baby. This sounds about right. It's the ZA. Nobody's baby should be healthy or sane without proper care. I'm sorry. Maggie over here getting pregnant like it's cool. I be, girl, you stupid. And they be talking about, I think that girl told her that when she got captured. And I was like, that savior lady, right? You don't ever have time for it. She's like, I had a baby because me and Glenn thought we can have a life together and it'd be okay. Bitch, get your life together. You cannot have no kids in the ZA. This is a crazy psycho man with a bat trying to kill you.
They weren't pregnant, or they got pregnant before Negan showed up.
Well,
when they were in Alexandria or slightly before.
It was still stupid. That's still fucking stupid to be doing that. It was like, me and Glenn just was looking for life. We can't live like that. Bitch, shut up. Walk a plank, because I don't want to hear it anymore.
Rick had concealed, and he hit Negan with the wrong side of the bat. Why did he do that?
How you grab the wrong side of the bat? You just put your hand on the barbed wire, right?
No, he didn't. He hit him with the bottom part instead of the barbed wire.
Like he had the opportunity to swing the bat and just fucking dent Negan's face, and instead he like butted him.
Well, I'd rather have Carl killed than to had killed Negan. So there it is. You know how fucked up I'd be mad at my dad when you had the opportunity to kill a psychopath to save the world? I'd be dead.
He got his gun and then got like thrown out the window, and then instead of like going in, he just ran off. Like he could have just shot Negan through the window. Like what's Negan gonna do with his fucking bat? Is he gonna block the shot again?
Well, can somebody tell me what happens towards the end? Because I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna have to watch it while I'm at work.
Towards the end, it's revealed that Carl was bit, and everyone's real sad looking at Rick while he's walking through the sewer to go to Carl to find out that he was bit. And then Rick and Michonne find out that Carl was bit. And anyways, what happens at the end is that it turns out that Carl was bit. Super surprising.
Don't forget the weird close-ups. Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of weird close-ups.
Where's Michonne? I just felt like she went and I was disappeared, and then she came back with Rick.
Oh, she does kill that guy before.
And it's not exactly clear why she runs into Alexandria. I guess because she's sad that it's her home, but then as soon as Rick shows up, they leave again. They go into the sewers.
I thought she was looking for Carl.
Yeah, I that's what I thought too. And then she just finds Rick, and then Rick's like, "Where is everyone?" And she's like, "They're over here."
Stupid. Please forgive her.
I don't know.
This season.
I don't know.
We already explained it. We already know what's wrong with Michonne. She's pretty stupid.
I don't know. Like everyone else was going to the sewer, and then she didn't say anything, but she looked at Rosita and she closed the cover while Rosita was looking up, and then she goes back into Alexandria and she slices a walker, and then a savior catches her for like 2 seconds, and she kills the savior, and she runs into Rick, and then they just leave and they go back to the sewers. And she
How
never
did they
even
know to go
goes home. Did Rick like say, hey, the house is fucked? I don't know where Carl is, and then Michonne said, I don't know where Carl is either.
So
No one ever knows where Carl is.
Yeah, you
Where's
never really
Carl?
help out with Carl a lot anyway. Bad parents, but DFAX isn't in the ZA, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm just disappointed. Like I'll
Yeah,
go
me
on and
too.
on how about disappointed I am about a show I hadn't even watched all season long. Like the show bad when you didn't even watch one episode and you already mad and you just disappointed.
It's I don't understand Michonne's plot at all. I know it's just stuff
When it
just
happens when you get
happening.
that good dick, you start
I
forgetting about your
guess.
life and your
I
mind. You be like, oh my
guess.
gosh, this dick's so good.
It was like there was a few scenes in the episode that it was cute and all, like it was nice seeing her with Judith interacting, and then yeah, it was cool to see her get some action, but it was also like, but why?
Yeah, like why
But
now?
why?
Nobody cares. We've been
But like
asking this for
why is she here though to get the action? Why?
oh, cause Kara's gonna die. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so explain to me. So next season they go on a rampage to killing people, but who are they killing?
The prisoners at Hilltop. And beyond that I don't know.
Yeah, because remember they said Rick and Michonne go on like a rampage killing
They
spree.
kill a bunch of walkers, and then Rick and Morgan kill a bunch of the Hilltop prisoners. And those are only the only rampage kills I'm aware of.
Then what was this? Do you remember this during? This is one of the things I was talking about with the spoilers. Like they were saying, like they had one where Rick and Michonne were at the GPK thing, and they were yelling at Jada saying, "You did this," and then they ran off and killed everybody.
I don't know. That's next season.
But then
If it
Simon
happens.
kills them. So who kills
Yeah.
them? That's what I'm confused.
Simon, I guess that's the most recent one. I don't know if Rick and Michonne are there, if they're somewhere else, because I didn't follow the spoilers that closely to know who's where on what episode.
Probably wrong anyway, so it don't matter. They'd be like, "Oh, nobody gets killed at the GPK." Matter of fact, the GPK becomes an ally of Rick and shelter them because their house is gone. And that's why living in trash always worked. It was beneficial because who's burning trash? They got ASZ destroyed for nothing. Now that I think about it, that whole place is down in the dumps because fuck.
And it was the nicest place to live too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just bad
electricity, running
decisions,
water.
bad decision, bad game planning, not enough manpower, and you gonna go fight Negan. Y'all should have got y'all. I would have moved. I'd be like, well, they got another subdivision around here. Maybe we'll go back to the one that Black Kid was talking about. What's his name? Noah. Like, let's go back to that subdivision. Maybe we could do it. Michelle
Go make
said,
some walls.
yeah, build some walls, and hopefully the sight lines we can cut down those trees and be seen again. We'll go there.
Yeah.
Because if it was real, I'd be like, well, this dude is a psychopath and has way more numbers. Let's move. And Michelle's like, no, this our house. Bitch, shut up. You can't even think right now. I'm tired of you.
Why do they never go to an island? Like seriously.
They didn't watch Dawn of the Dead. That's why they didn't go to an island.
Because you have Georgia, South Carolina, North. I think even North Carolina have those little islands, just clear off of islands.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because my grandmother lived on one, so yeah.
Tybee Island is by Georgia.
Yeah.
I would just, because, basically this whole fight is Michonne's fault. That's why when Rick gave that speech about Michonne could lead, I'm like, dude, Rick, you was just trying to get some. She could have led you into a volcano. If it meant at the end of the day you was about to get some, you was jumping into that volcano. That doesn't how that necessarily work. Like, pussy gets you in a lot of trouble, and it got Rick in a lot of trouble. Like, this whole fight going down is technically Michonne, because she was like, oh yeah, I'll fight. Then, like, a whole week later, she's like, yeah, about fighting. We're getting a lot of people killed. Bitch, you didn't recognize that sooner? you got your ass beat by the other girl, and then you was like, yeah, I just realized I have to get my ass beat. That I think we're getting a lot of people hurt and killed. We got Sasha killed. We got Denise killed. Olivia killed. Yeah. I just couldn't live like that. I couldn't live with that guilt. Like, we got this white girl killed.
Okay, Daryl. So you just gonna go in a corner like Daryl?
Actually, Daryl got people killed too. He got Glenn killed. Glenn got killed on the premises of somebody else who was white. He was all he got. That's what made that scene seem so racist, though. It was like, I can't kill this white man, so I'm gonna kill this Asian dude. And I definitely couldn't beat a black woman live on national television with a bat, because that just won't seem just like you're not asking for the ethnical people to start calling, or the NCAA, or what's his name calling. Like, yeah, we just couldn't do that.
They cut out his dialogue from issue 100 where he was talking about how it would be like impossible to not be sexist or racist or something.
Wait, what you said?
In issue 100, while he's like taunting everyone, he like points to the different people in the lineup. So he says he can't kill Glenn because it would be racist, and I think maybe there was some white chick or something. He said he can't kill her because that'd be sexist, and then he looks at Michonne, and he can't kill her because it'd be sexist and racist, and he's like, oh man.
Yep, he sure did say that. He did say that. He said, I can't kill you because I'm not racist. He said that on Michonne part. He was like, yeah, I remember that in the comic. He does say that. He was like, I can't kill you because I'm not racist. And he was like, I can't kill you because I'm not sexist. And he did say something.
And then he said he couldn't kill Rick because he didn't want to make a martyr. So and he's like, Maggie was in the lineup. Duh. So he said he couldn't kill Maggie because it'd be sexist. And then he couldn't kill Glenn because it's racist. And he can't kill Michonne because both. And then he's like, oh God, the choices are just so hard. And then
he still ended up being a racist.
And then Kirkman like pat himself on the back for his diversity or something.
But you still end up killing somebody of color, so you're still a racist. And then I swear I remember him saying, I swear to gosh, I remember him saying, I never even liked Chinese food anyway. I swear I thought Negan said that shit.
He said some shit like that.
He was like,
wow.
I don't even like Chinese food. I'm like, this is the most racist.
How in the hell? He's just trash.
I was like, this is so racist.
And then even like bunch of years in the comic, which could be 10 years or 5 years or 2 years or 1 year, depending on, which timeline you're following. He's talking to Rick and he's like, oh, he's still not over the fact I killed that Asian kid. And he just, every time he mentions Glenn, just always going about killing Asian kids. Like, oh my fucking God.
Vietnam.
And everyone's like, what? Negan's not a racist. Like, motherfucker.
He's about as racist.
Get your white ass out of my face and stop telling me what the fuck is racist.
Or I'm assuming it's racist because his life was dependent on somebody white and he still died.
But they cut that dialogue out of the show or whatever. But to make up for the fact that Negan wasn't going on about how not racist he is, they just go ahead and have it be
that would make sense.
The Asian guy dies because of a white guy's actions.
Makes total sense why Abe got to live, because that dialogue definitely would have been fucked up had he not been there. Be like, can't kill this Asian guy because that's racist. Be like, can't kill you because that's racist and sexist.
See, the reason they couldn't do that dialogue is because there are just too damn many white people in the lineup in the TV show.
Oh yeah, because Aaron was in the lineup. He wasn't. Wait, was Aaron in the lineup?
Yeah, he was. He was. There was Abe, Daryl, Rick, Aaron, Maggie, Eugene,
and
Carl. So there was like a ton of white people. There wasn't like no matter what I do, I'm gonna be sexist or racist thing. So it would have made any damn sense.
Abe is the only original one that wasn't in it, right?
Yeah. Aaron. No, Aaron, Eugene. Aaron and Eugene weren't in the lineup either.
Yeah, I was about to
in
say,
the
I don't
comics.
remember Eugene
They were
being
alive.
in the...
They were alive though, but they weren't in the lineup.
Yeah, Eugene. I was like, I don't remember Eugene or Aaron or Abe because Abe got killed before then. He had such a stupid death. His couldn't be no more stupider than I could. If I was to comic deaths was like in an order of stupid, his would be like a top 5.
Yeah,
his was so stupid. And Denise got his death, and you realize how stupid it was. Like yeah, they did need to give him something better. Because Abe was turning kind of badass in the comics, and they went and killed him. It was like, yeah, you're getting a little too popular, my buddy. Let me go put this arrow right through your eye right quick. Okay.
Yeah, he actually did things in the comic. It was wild. Like, ooh, look, a character that is useful.
I feel like in the TV show they don't get a chance to do anything. They just die.
Basically,
Noah's death was fucked up.
That's apparently the only thing they can write is characters dying, and then characters reacting to the fact that other people died, or not reacting to the fact that other people died. Because like the only thing they've got is people dying. That's it. Over and over again, people dying.
Was it true in Glenn? Okay, so Dumpstergate. So I heard that when I was originally shot, the dude who played what's his name said there was a part that he didn't remember filming. That's why people thought Glenn was getting killed that time. But then that leaked, and it was like, oh yeah, that was not true. Like it was like we filmed that like because we knew we were gonna do that, and he was like, that's not true.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff around dumpster gates, but it's possible, and a lot of story stuff looks like that's when Glenn was supposed to die, because like he basically didn't exist in 6B, and Maggie had her whole scene where she was running after Glenn and sad and thought he was dead. So maybe that was supposed to be where he was actually
Aaron
dead.
She was pregnant in the goddamn sewer. She was like, I'm pregnant. That was all random. Like Aaron got just like, that ain't my baby. It was like, even though this is acting and this is weird, this ain't my baby. This ain't my fictional child. He looked kind of uncomfortable when she said that. She was like, no, I'm pregnant. No, Glenn told me everything will be okay. Michonne think everything will be okay. Don't listen to Michonne right now. She's currently being under the Richter. She getting the Richter.
She wasn't at that point.
Oh yeah, she wasn't. But she was about to, so it didn't matter. Don't listen to Michonne there. She was about to get dick down. So anything close to pre-dick or after or like post-dick and then like semi around there, she lost her goddamn mind. Michonne said everything will be okay. When did Michonne and Maggie ever talk besides for 2 seconds? Never.
I don't know.
Never.
I don't know.
They never had a real conversation. You gonna go listen to Michonne? You might as well listen to me.
Y'all.
I love Glenn told me that everything will be okay. Why she say?
I'm gonna have to.
Glenn didn't say that.
She just said, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I gotta go to bed. Y'all so silly." She was like that. She's like, "Glenn's like everything's gonna be okay." I was like, Maggie, shut up."
Glenn didn't say that, and Maggie didn't say that.
Who said that? I swear somebody said everything was
no one said that Glenn said everything was gonna be okay.
And she was like,
Maggie in like season 4 at the prison said that they could have a baby if it had happened that she had been pregnant then, but everything's gonna be okay.
Maggie did say that when she was in the sewer. She's like, everything's gonna be okay. And she was like, Michonne said everything's gonna be okay. I'm pregnant. Aaron was like, whoa. The bitch, why are we stuck in a sewer? This isn't a safe place for pregnant women. Yeah.
Forever, are you leaving?
I am.
Good night.
Okay, good night.
Bye. Bye. I just don't understand. Maggie did say that though. I don't care. I felt like she said it, so she said it.
Okay, that's how the show works.
Okay. Liv Trump. That's who she is.
She
Just making
said
her own.
everything's gonna be okay. Again, Glenn said that he was gonna be okay and he was gonna have his baby together. It was like, ugh. Only Glenn and Maggie would get pregnant during like a very stressful time. I mean, I guess that's how it is in like the real world. People be having babies and they can't afford it, and it's just like, well, I guess it would make sense to do it in the ZA. Except in this life, I mean, what's the odds of you running into a walker? 0 to 0. So, like, yeah.
Oh, but you do kind of need babies for life to continue. Otherwise, like, well, this is the last generation of humanity. Guess we'll all just die out.
Yeah, but it's the problem is there's a psychopathic killer with a bad kind of kid.
He wasn't there yet. They had no idea he existed.
Yeah, but y'all went.
They had just arrived in Alexandria, or were like about to. Like, as far as they knew, that was as safe as it was gonna get.
Yeah, but then y'all got hungry, and then y'all went and attacked Negan, because technically it was your fault y'all got killed. But it's like, homie was just minding his business, la 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 la. And y'all hit his post. You didn't think you didn't deserve that ass whipping?
That was not the first time they interacted. Do you watch the? No, you don't watch the show, Liv. Look,
I do watch the show. I just forget because it hasn't really paid.
You don't watch the show. You haven't watched the last season. That was not the first interaction with the Saviors. The reason they went and killed the Saviors in the first place is because the Saviors showed up to the hilltop, killed a kid, and then forced them to give over their food. And before that, Team Family had in fact interacted with the Saviors when a group of them came and threatened to kill Daryl, Abe, and Sasha on the road unless they handed over all their shit, and they were still going to kill them anyways. And the Savior's MO is to just show up to communities, kill someone, and enslave them. So no, Team Family did not bring this on themselves. That is
they kind of
incorrect.
Because it was kind of like they never knew they got murdered until
they didn't know that. They knew that the first time they fucking interacted with the Saviors, because the Saviors came up and said they were going to kill Daryl, Abe, and Sasha.
Yeah,
and then they go to
but Negan never knew who killed those people, so it wouldn't matter. You could have got away with murder, and they did. And then it was like, all right, well, we want to stop these people. Because that whole thing with the hilltop, that had nothing to do with the family. Like, it really didn't. Like, you just...
Yeah, but the Saviors could have found them anyway, and then someone still would have died. They didn't start shit. The Saviors start all of the shit because that's what they do. They go to other communities. Hi, because they have a huge operation and they're constantly looking for other communities. And the ASC is close enough to the hilltop that Jesus was able to find them. So yes, eventually the Saviors would have found them.
I don't know. I don't like it. I just feel like, yeah, it did suck because, yeah, he didn't, it is a damn if you do, damn if you don't type of situation. But the problem is like, up until like that part, they have been pretty smart about how to fight all their enemies. Like, even down to the terminus people. They had a lot of people that was like man-eating people. And y'all prevailed, but when it came to Negan, y'all just got super stupid. It was like, well,
they didn't go to finish off Terminus though. They literally left. Terminus like ate Bob's leg, and they only later tricked them and then killed them. With the Saviors, they for all they knew, the satellite station was all of the Saviors. So they didn't. They maybe could have done more recon, maybe they couldn't, but
this was when Michelle
for all
was smart, they knew when she asked that question, which one was Negan, and she was like, yeah, you better hope we killed him.
Yeah, like based on what they knew, they had taken out all of the Saviors and hadn't left that many other than a few stray bands. They just were wrong by a lot. And they still doing stuff wrong by a lot. Like, you wouldn't. They're stupider now than they were. Like, season 6, they weren't that stupid. Season 7, they got dumb. And in season 8, they get dumber. I don't even want to see what season 9 leads to.
Do you think it's the water in Alexandria, like contaminated or something?
Maybe.
season 9 is gonna be retardation because I just don't understand. I don't know where they can go from here. Like, it's no offense. You'd be like, well, they were pretty stupid, but now they're just like window lickers right now. I can't even explain. Well, the water in Alexandria works still. Never seen running water.
It still runs. Well, I mean, maybe it doesn't now that the place got bombed, but it still.
I'm pretty sure.
So maybe being away from Alexandria bring them back to their senses.
Maybe. Well, you know what? They did talk about that. You know, now that I kind of think about it, Carl kind of said that being in that place would kind of make them weak. You remember that? They was talking about they didn't want to be weak like those people. And it kind of did. Like, I'm telling you, ever since Michonne got digged down, it was just the whole ball. Got the ball rolling. And then got Rick out here killing people over on her word. Like, yeah, baby, I'll be there for you when you start killing up people. Not even a week later. Just kidding.
That is because she got beat up.
Just kidding, boo. I had a reality check when that bitch beat me up. I just realized we might not can beat all these. Like, even though that was the dumpster lesbian girl who I killed. Oh, well. They'll be smart again.
She never said that they were going to stop fighting.
Nah, but she's like, I have so much regret right now.
She didn't.
Nah, she didn't, but she's saying she has regret and that she's feeling guilty. That's really saying, babe.
She didn't. Liv, you didn't watch this season.
That's true. I didn't even
She didn't say these things that you're saying she said.
Well, she's not saying it on paper or even on the TV.
You didn't see what she was saying with her eyes or with her mouth or with her actions. You didn't see her.
Yeah,
why are you arguing with me? I actually saw what she did.
What'd she do?
She didn't say those things. She still wants to fight. That didn't change. She just didn't think Daryl, or maybe she thought Daryl's plan would have worked, but she didn't want to participate because she didn't want to die for it. That doesn't mean she doesn't want to fight. She just didn't want to like drive a truck into the sanctuary and maybe die doing that. But at no point did she say, I don't want to fight the saviors anymore.
It's not saying that. I'm not saying she's like, I didn't want to fight. She's just saying I'm feeling guilty. Which is kind of stupid because it's just like, what's the point of feeling guilty now? It doesn't matter.
That's not what you said.
Oh, yeah, I know, because I do tend to exaggerate a lot, okay, people? You're going to really learn something about me. I tend to exaggerate a lot, pretty much a lot. It could be kind of like my points go all over the place.
That's not exaggerating. That's blatantly saying something completely different. That's not the definition of exaggeration.
Well, it's Liv the Mafia's exaggeration definition, so that's what it's going to be.
Liv, are you channeling Donald Trump for real? I'm like, seriously.
It just sounds like, it sounds like fake news.
Fake news. Well, I think anytime Michonne agrees, that means she's giving up, so it don't matter. There you go. Let's go to logic. There's logic. Anytime you agree with Daryl, you're giving up because you had so many other options than to agree with Daryl. You could have killed yourself. That would have been okay than having to agree with Daryl. Agreeing with Daryl automatically makes you not just give up. I'm sorry. Like, Daryl, you're right. Bitch, you giving up already? The fight isn't over? You're right, Daryl. You're right. You gonna say he right before your man? Disrespectful. Divorce.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to bed too. This has been enlightening.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Yep. Good night, guys.
Y'all gave up.
I gave up. I agreed with Daryl. Good night.
Yep, bye. Y'all, bye.